How goes it, everybody? Hope everyone's having a fantastic evening. Better than DSP's evening yesterday. Holy crap, I watched the clips from that. Man, that dude was getting so cranky. He demanded answers for why Cammy was beating him. Maybe because you suck. That might be one of the answers. But, yeah, I skipped that because I wanted to do the Agent Proper interview before it started not being pertinent anymore. So that's what we're doing today. We're gonna watch Agent Proper's The Proper Chill with Top Tier Rated, edited from Agent Proper. Pretty cool, huh? Oh my god, Korahas, you should probably go to bed, for real. That's unsafe, bro. You have all kinds of health problems if you stay up that late. Yes, little Shadow Cheetos would be good. I don't have any.
Hey, what's going on, chat? How are you doing tonight?
I'm gonna have to turn
yeah,
this
that's
up
right.
a
I'm
little bit.
back. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? So I want to
will
come down
after
to
my
the
lunch
thunder
meat sandwich.
and
Oh, okay.
I reached out.
Did you go to a sandwich shop?
Talked to for a bit with good old top tier rated Brian, who's been around for quite some time in the DSP circles.
Oh, I hardly even paid attention to Nachi.
He took
It was
a break
just
for a
boring,
while.
really.
We'll talk with him and
Let's go to
we'll enjoy a nice proper chill stream. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are excited.
DSP is
it's
not
very rare we
it's
get
gout
the
cycle
chance to speak with somebody.
That's pretty badass.
From
I mean,
it
would be
inner
badass if
circle,
one know
so
how
to
to
speak,
use
of
it.
Phil.
DSP doesn't know how to
Brian
use it.
is considered to be one of probably Phil's only friends currently at this time. And don't worry, I'll get to like super chats and shit like that later. But
Nanashi,
the main headline is
I restreamed Stardew. It
Brian.
should still be up.
We're
Unless I
gonna
take it down or
bring
something.
him in here right now. So big ups, chat. Big ups to all you guys.
All right, so Brian's here.
Ready to jump over.
Hey, it's the guy, the proper guy.
Hey, Brian, how's it going? Hopefully you're doing well.
He died.
You.
Oh, I'm muted. Oh, I'm going on.
Wait,
brother.
does proper have a cat?
Brother.
Hold up the cat.
I mean,
I thought that was a
should be all
cat.
good to go though. What's going on? Yeah, I see
Oh,
an echo here. So
hold up the cat.
that off real quick.
Let's see the little bastard.
Hopefully
Oh, you're getting double audio from me? Double audio
yeah,
from
I
me?
think I know
Brian,
where it's
don't
from,
distract him.
but-
We need to see the cat.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm being silly, Brian. I'm sorry. You're the guest. I'll be respectful.
All right, let's try it there. Hopefully that'll bring him back.
I'm excited to hear
trying to
about
fix
this. A
it.
lot of
Sorry,
people were telling me
it's-
this was a
I'm
very
a little
amusing
rusty,
interview,
chat.
but also
Hopefully
kind
that
of
should be
depressing.
fixed,
So
though.
I'm excited to see.
It's been a while since I've had a guest on, that's for sure. Since the days of like closing my closet, but we should be good to go. I just didn't click a certain deafen button, but no worries, no
I
worries.
like his background. That's pretty
So,
cool.
Brian,
It's rainy.
how you been? How was your 9 to 5 day, so to speak?
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either.
Oh, the mixed bag. Eh?
It's one of them things. I got there a little later than I wanted to, but when your employer works you 10 days straight, you tend to burn out from exhaustion.
What
And
the hell?
with
Where
that,
does he work?
We're trying to actually, produce some streams for the internet.
Happy to have you, Bob.
I was burned, brother.
Oh, I feel it.
So yeah, aside from that, it's pretty good, man.
Good. How'd you balance doing this whole 9 to 5 job?
I'm gonna interrupt you here, proper. This whole idea of a person working for 10 days straight. Imagine if DSP had a job like that. My God, the dude would be talking like he had just climbed Everest.
I'm so tired. I've been working for 10 days straight.
It's bullshit, dude. We'd hear that every damn stream. I mean, it'd be kind of funny the first couple times, but after a while, it'd get really old hearing DSP get on stream and complain about work. That's why he needs a part-time job, just a little bit of work, so that he can come home and complain about just a little bit of stuff. Well, I mean, DSP is going to, of course, turn his complaints into 2.5 hours. But if he's only working part-time, that does limit the capacity for it.
Job and trying to, a hobby stream.
Remember, DSP works really hard, though. He's very busy. This guy, probably has a ton of time on his hands.
It really, I'm gonna be honest, it comes down to Street Fighter 6.
Okay.
Because for the longest now, I've always been like super competitive in fighting games. I started with Injustice 2.
Oh.
I ended up winning my first tournament with Mortal Kombat X. At like
you won a tournament? DSP has no idea what that's like. I actually won tournaments. I don't care.
I had like the urge.
You won at your mall against some kids? Cool.
I wanted to do it in Street Fighter 5. The game was just not good though. I didn't start liking Street Fighter 5.
Well, hold up a second. DSP told us that he was the only person who was saying it was bad. Bryan is now saying, well, Bryan clearly is retconning history. He probably super loved it.
Until I
Liar.
Say
can't trust you, Bryan.
3.5. Basically, when G came out is
when
he'd
the game love that golden spoon
for the better. But at that point, I'm like, I don't even want to compete in this game. I'll just wait for Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 drops.
Pretty cool.
Sky's the limit with it. I haven't stopped competing. I'd like to go to more locals, but your 9 to 5 kind of keeps you from doing that all
9
the
to
time.
5, 10 days a week.
When was the last tournament you played?
You know what I'm saying. 10 days.
The last one I played with him was a local here in Philly called Shadow Warriors. This was like the 9th version.
Let's see this. Let's see. I want to see Shadow Warriors. I have a dude I work with who's from Philly, and he brings it up all the damn time. Shadow Warriors Philly, the government private security contractor. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Let's try Philadelphia. How do you spell Philadelphia? Oh, like Phil. Yeah, I'm not finding it. It must be really obscure. Holy shit, okay. Bryan's into the underground scene.
I did decently, but ultimately I lost to who is now a friend of mine. Really, really good Marissa player. She's it went down to the wire, but ultimately she kicked my ass. She beat me in neutral. I was not punishing her enough, but that was my last local.
Yeah, sorry. Training against Phil.
The most recent one I'll be going to soon will be too many games. Actually, I found that out today.
She has to work till 11. Can you imagine that? 11.
Nice.
Yeah.
Phil basically works to 11.
What other streaming games do you usually play?
He's uploading after the stream.
What was it? GTA Online, I think, was the last stuff I saw from you.
Yeah, he was doing role playing.
So for GTA Online, it's more so the role play. Like, I know you guys are probably familiar with that.
Yeah, it looks fun, but I don't know how I'd get into
the bigger
it.
Streamers
Figured I'd just be really dorky.
Role play. That's what I've done for the greater part of 2.5 years. Like, within my disappearance from like kind of doing YouTube content, I started building an audience here on Twitch through the GTA RP community, and it was really good. Yeah, 5M RP. It was really good for me.
So I just asked Bryan, who reached out to who when you guys played Street Fighter 6? So
all right,
exactly, Jay. This guy's a scrub.
Yeah, you're good to go. We're back in.
Didn't know how it works.
We just get
making sure.
Yeah, just an average Agent Proper stream. That's usually how it goes.
Exactly, Hines. I'm doing it all backwards.
All right. Anywho, so Phil reached out to me.
That's how you don't swing.
Okay. And how did that go? Because last time you guys played together, it was Apex Legends with his boy Kekken, and you guys carried the streams.
Right.
Yes.
And then
Bryan agrees. Good.
Laughed at his 2K cat stuff here or there. I saw blips of you, but did he just out of the blue ask you?
So yeah, he it was completely out of left field. I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. And I just get a random email. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is actually a new email. And I check in and it's him. He's he's the the email started out, very, very friendly, very kind of.
Wait, did he say
like
that new email like it's a new email address or just a new email message? Because I'm going to assume he meant message. But did he mean email account? DSP's got a new email? I got to sign him up for some stuff.
Friend from the past trying to rekindle something.
Yeah,
that
DSP has
was
hated
potentially.
GTA in every capacity.
That's what it came across as. Like, he didn't even mention Street Fighter 6 right away.
So he hit you up with the hot mail. And what was it like? Because we don't get to see any of these kind of interactions ever.
Mm-hmm.
Did he just go, hey man, I want to play some Street Fighter?
Yeah, did he include a pre-stream?
It's been a long time. Let's get some sets in.
So back in 2010?
Yeah, pretty much in a nutshell.
Okay. And you just...
Damn, baby man, why I gotta be cringe, bro? Anyway.
Ban him.
You just ran with it then? And
ban that guy.
Went for it and just said, yeah, and you know what? I'm not missing anything. And you jumped into it. And
yeah, I'm not sure if he saw that I was pretty frequent on Street Fighter 6 because I was tweeting my TikToks and my YouTube streams, or excuse me, Twitch streams. So maybe he had seen that I've been playing it on Twitter because he does follow me on Twitter, so he could have seen it.
That doesn't. I'm not sure I understand that. Okay, so DSP saw him playing via notifications on Twitter. However, he's seen that Kekken is playing Tekken on Tekken. Anyway, he saw that Kekken was on there. How come Kekken didn't get a message? Maybe he did. Maybe Kekken got a message and Kekken said no or whatever. I don't know. But it is also really odd that DSP would do this out of nowhere. But I think what that means is that this dude had been sitting on this idea for a while and then finally pulled the trigger. If it's anything related to spending money, DSP's not about deliberation. He'll just do it. But if it's anything pretty much outside of money, he drags his feet, he ponders, he pontificates, he runs it past Cat ignores him, and then he brews on it for a little bit and then tells himself, no, the trolls ruin everything, and then finally does it. So I think DSP was sitting on this for a while. And yeah, it was because of the desperation. And I think that's what kind of pushed him to do it more than anything. Because I'm sure DSP thinks about this. I'm sure he thinks about doing things with people. But then, his mind goes to all the conclusions that would come from it, such as, oh, what if I get trolled? What if they get trolled? What if they get harassed? All this and that. But also, I think on some level, DSP wants social interaction like any of us do. I believe it was Steve of the Dead who pointed out one time. He said, narcissists do have the same wishes that everyone else does. They all want to have, social lives and do fun things with people and have friendships and whatnot. But for narcissists, it's always on their terms. And so I think that's kind of what went on with Bryan. Eventually, he just decided, okay, I want to have social interaction. Which is really weird for me to say that because then I immediately debunk myself because this dude didn't even really interact with Bryan at all. Bryan basically just kind of talked to himself. And after a while, he stopped doing that. DSP is confusing is what I'm trying to say.
And you said, yeah, I could get the practice in. Let's try something. Let's go for it.
Yes, Richard. We've seen this a couple times. Sorry, I got to repause it. We've seen this a couple times throughout DSP's history where, and it reminds me a lot of Cyrax because this is one of the overlaps in the Venn diagram between the different locales. DSP and Cyrax do this a lot where they have this idea and they're all for it for a couple seconds and then immediately abandon it 10 minutes later. And DSP was all on board for co-op streams with Cat, and then that shit got abandoned. I'm all on board for doing stuff with Bryan. That's going to get abandoned. And it's happened throughout history where, okay, I'm going to start doing edited content. And then he does one edited video and never does them again. So he has this really, really frustrating perspective where if he does something once and it's not immediately super successful, he's never going to do it again. Because that's the way his business mind works. If I just don't have instantaneous success, then I'm a failure and this is a waste of my time. Well, that's a can-do attitude for you.
So you just jumped for it and you just said, sure, why not? Like I'm down to get some matches in.
Better than Cat?
I had no reason not to.
What kind of better?
Because again, I was super behind on indie lore dealing with him. The last thing I had heard of was the 2K Cat thing, which I openly made a video about. Well, I didn't make a video, I was streaming. And just like with the recent video, somebody asked me to look at, I, commented, I always been opinionated about the things that Phil does. And I've told him to his face, even about the 2K cat thing. None of this is news to him.
Okay, so
Wait.
none of it being news to him, and
Go for it proper.
you hit me up with information, like asking me for information about a certain DSP chatter. Good old Derich.
Oh God. Okay, before we get to Derich, let me ask about that. That is some sort of special ability, some sort of special clearance. I think that's higher than whatever access you need to get into to get into Area 51. Is the ability to tell DSP he's wrong to his face. I only know of a couple people who've ever done it. Apparently, Brian's one of them. That's crazy to me. I don't even see how you could ever speak to the dude ever again. He would want a restraining order and then have you assassinated. John hardly ever really called him out to his face. A couple of times when he got annoyed with DSP's antics via, DSP making videos about him. Howard apparently called him out to his face. Panda Lee called him out to his face every couple minutes. Cat doesn't even call him out to his face. Not that we've heard of. We did hear that one time, go do your stupid stream. We did hear that, but that's, I don't know. I don't believe Kekin ever did. So that puts Brian on a very, very short list of characters. Craig and Adam called him out to his face. And Keemstar called him out to his face. But those dudes are all super toxified now and they can all burn in hell forever. But is Brian going to get that treatment now?
You unfortunately have gotten
in the big order of things. Brian is always the upper hand, so Phil can only shut up and eat it. Yep, pretty much with a spoon.
Right.
You mentioned that you brought this up between you and Phil, and did he ghost you on that? Did he ever give you an actual answer?
I'm also Phil.
Yes, he did. He did provide a very lengthy, detailed answer, to which I'm not going to disclose the details of that. But it basically ended with me saying, from my perspective, I said, if anything is found out that this dude is in fact everything people are saying, and or is some things that we just can't pretend it doesn't exist, like, bro, you gotta ban him.
Hold on, I feel you, but
and he
protects Derich. He protects him all the time. Even today during his React stream, Phil had an unfortunate event where he didn't screen a certain video. And
I'm going to pause you there for a minute, proper. I want to hear this part by itself. So, okay. Hey, how's it going, Josuke? My day is great. It's getting better. Hold on a second. So there's two elements when it comes to Derich and DSP. There's two factoids that I just want to have addressed. Do you know what he is up to? And then why do you protect him? Might have been the time of the month. Oh, God. Why did I read that? DSP has to know what Derich is up to, at least to some degree. Now, I think what Brian is kind of beating around the bush here with is the straight up accusations of PDF antics. Now, I'm willing to bet that given what Brian has just told us, DSP said, yeah, the dude's really into porn. It's kind of, it's his thing, really. I play Street Fighter and scream at my chat and he masturbates all day. We all have our hobbies. And then he probably said, but Brian, all the stuff about him being a PDF file, that's bullshit. Well, then why aren't we allowed to make fun of him for his masturbation habits and not even really address the PDF stuff? I could almost understand DSP's logic if he only ever banned people for saying that Derich was a one of those kind of inclined individuals. But you can't even bring up Derich's name without getting banned. So it seems to stretch a little bigger than that. I don't see why you'd be so vigilant for this dude like that. But the other thing is why are you protecting him? And I don't get it. I don't get why DSP would protect Derich, because all throughout DSP's history, he has never felt a sense of allegiance to anyone. No one matters to this dude. You don't matter. But Derich does. And why? What makes Derich so special? Derich isn't really paying that much money, if at all. He's not really helping that much with the content. He's making thumbnails and spamming IMDb facts. He's not doing anything. What does DSP get attached to with this guy? And I have a couple hypotheses, but one of them is maybe DSP just sees himself in Derich, and that, here's another person who's picked on even though he did nothing wrong. I identify with that, which is a weird case of empathy from DSP, because really, that's who you're going to be empathetic with, DSP? Derich? Derich is the person you identify with, not any other person who you shit on and you didn't find any empathy for them, but Derich.
There's a little clip you might be seeing.
You can't say the friendship's over because he would be acknowledging he watches detractor content, so he'll do the same shit as he did.
They definitely blasted Derich.
Oh, that makes sense.
That. And for the most part, I've seen Derich ask for Phil to straight up ban people for him.
He has. He's used DSP as a stand.
Like, it's a weird, strange relationship between him and Phil. For whatever reason,
I don't get it.
Derich seems to be making the thumbnails for Phil.
I think Phil and Derich are into the same thing. That's why he protects us.
Obviously, he went on
it's a decent theory
to Asia and did a family event, and then Phil's thumbnails froze. Like they weren't being uploaded. They were just kind of.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't read that. just to protect your anonymity.
Magically, thumbnails are back, so they're working hand in hand in some way.
Brian. Not Brian. Derich does do work for DSP. Shitty work, but he doesn't.
Primary means of communication at this point. What do you feel about Derich?
Probably chorus.
Like how do you feel about all this? Are you concerned at all that this kind of fandom
crazy eradicated? I can see that as well. Like a legacy
it was so much a concern. That's why I brought it up to him. I don't bite my tongue with anything, especially if it's involving children or of that sort. Like child porn and shit like that is not funny. It's not.
So okay, that's clearly what it is. Then they discussed this element to it, and that's what DSP basically convinced Brian of, is that all that is hearsay evidence. But okay, let's pretend like it's a court of law kind of thing. What does Derich have that really convicts him? He has the overwhelming penchant for masturbation and porn. We see that that's pretty much 90% of his perspective at any given point. He's always looking and gooning. And then you have screenshots of him with playlists of young girls. And people have gone to his TikTok and found that he followed nothing but young girls. So from DSP's perspective, we can't really accuse him of anything, because unless there's a smoking gun, high definition footage of him doing whatever unspeakable deed, you can't say anything about Derich. It's weird. He's applying the same sort of defense rubric that he applies for himself to Derich. Again, confusing the shit out of me. What makes Derich so special that he gets the DSP defense of, unless you find me with a gun in my hand, I didn't do anything? What makes Derich deserving that? How come we all don't get that? And he doesn't even pay money. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little frustrated, but the pieces aren't adding up. They're not clicking together. So yes, we don't have hard evidence of Derich doing anything, but it's extremely easy to come to the implication that he did something. It's extremely easy. But I'm sorry, I'm just frustrated. Hey, shout out to Agent Proper. I'm loving the interview so far.
Not excusable either. So with that,
Derich might be a supplier. That's entirely possible.
I made the decision to ask these questions, get the information, confront him.
DSP's not going to admit to it
about it. You know what I mean? And I got the answer that
maybe
I
Lackey Bracket. Holy shit, that'd be
but
dark.
It was better than not knowing anything.
This whole Derich thing, and trying to move this along for chat and everybody. When you heard all the information I put out there and you discussed it with Phil, were you satisfied with his answer at all?
No, I could never be satisfied with his answers. Because
yes,
had he
good
been
answer,
in my
Brian.
Community, I probably would have banned him already. Okay. Just on the strength of that, I can't control whether these things are true or false. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, Brian doesn't have a smoking gun either.
The risk of it being all true, and worse than what we already know, are way too high.
Sure, Derich has therefore thread DSP about
you banned in my community.
Could be.
That's just me. And again, this is all stuff I've told him. With that being said, I said to him, I'm down to do what we had planned because it was already promised. I like to keep my word. and that's why it went forward.
Brian seems like a chill dude. I like him
Keep in
already.
mind,
I wonder
it
if he'd
was
go
postponed
agree with me.
because I had basically canceled because of that Derich shit.
Oh, so you canceled the stream on him because of
Yeah,
the
what a
Derich
hero.
Because of the Derich shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Take
Okay.
that, Phil.
That's really interesting. I mean, I feel you right there. Yeah, I would totally back out too.
So this is where it could become a problem to Phil. Is if he's going to start losing revenue and or opportunities, or opportunities to beg. Those are two different things. Opportunities and opportunities to beg, they're kind of different. But he's going to lose out on these things because of Derich. Now that's what could get Derich fully kicked out of DSP's life. If Derich starts hurting DSP's wallet, Derich is going to go. There's no negotiations at that point. If you making me choose between money and anything else, the answer is money. I'll even choose it over my wife. So that's interesting that Bryan was willing to quit, or not quit, but cancel over Derich. I'm surprised DSP didn't get pissed at Derich, but I know the reason why is because it's the first time it probably happened like this. His first thought is, well, these damn trolls ruined everything again. When really he should think, okay, Derich ruined this opportunity for me because Derich's a goddamn weirdo.
And
because it's too much. It's too much.
Right, I agree.
Did he come back?
He
to
did
you
annoy a lot of
any
people into
response to try to
leaving.
Get you to come back to the stream? I assume something came up to where you decided to come back again and stream with him once more, or are you
what was
done
that?
You
streaming
mean
with Phil?
after the Derich thing, or
Yeah.
you mean like after moving past that?
After moving past it, you had your one last
Okay.
session, and then you saw all the clips in your live stream.
Exactly,
that
number one
people
antagonist.
We're trying to show you. What happened after that?
Mm-hmm. So after that, he told me he would, keep an eye on him or whatever, and
What?
Keep an eye on.
Yeah, what's up? Oh, I'm sorry. No, you already got to it. You already got to it,
do
Robert.
exactly what I asked of.
Derich has been
He would
watching.
do exactly
Phil.
what I asked of, which is
Yeah, what's to keep an eye on?
Go ahead.
Hmm?
I'll let you finish.
he would do exactly what I ask of, which is ban him the moment anything comes out that is like irredeemable. That was his promise to me that he would,
Okay.
and that was it.
Interesting. Well, there's got to be a line there somewhere.
I mean,
And-
here's also the thing. Here's also the thing that maybe Bryan doesn't realize this, and maybe other people, DSP definitely doesn't realize it, is that on some level, you don't even want it to reach that point. You don't even want to have it reach the point where you got hard evidence on Derich. For real, as soon as it starts becoming pretty damn suspicious and pretty damn certain that he's doing it, that should be cut off right there. Because what you're asking for is essentially, when you're saying, I want proof of this happening, especially in a context like this, is what you're essentially saying is, I do want a child to get hurt before I do something. That's not exactly the perspective you want to have. That's not exactly the approach you want to have. And I get that, Bryan seems like a chill dude in the fact that, well, I'm not going to convict someone without evidence. But at the same time, bro, you're not convicting him at this point. You're just taking his ass out. That should be enough. That should be decent enough of an action that you can live with yourself with that. I would like to think so.
It will be like it's strange because Derich has been watching Phil since he was 13.
You ban him, then he actually does
And
something. It's too
so-
late. Exactly.
That's one of the things. He brought up.
I mean,
Is
and
that-
here's the other thing to consider here. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of adding off of that. Is the gravity of what you could do to Derich. All DSP is really being asked to do is ban him, remove all communication with the guy. No one's even saying, DSP, you need to report Derich to the police. There's no legal aspect to this. There's nothing beyond, you are not welcome in my community anymore. You can convict someone of a crime with less evidence if the end sentence is just going to be excommunication from the United States of Phil. DSP has excommunicated people from the United States of Phil for next to nothing. But for Derich, he needs to see hard evidence, man. He needs to see the video.
That a lot of these allegations, and this is why I say the risk of it being true, untrue.
Yeah, Warner
are
Monk. That's a really
way
wild
too
story.
fucking risky to even give it
I don't
a
even know all of
possibility of something I would want to entertain. he brought up the age thing of all this stuff happening when he was
Barry, that's
very
true.
young. So it's like, fuck, I don't know how old this dude was when all this shit came about. I have no idea.
Okay, so you have like I showed
Okay,
you those.
Ultima, I'll give you a really short draft about it. So the biggest crime that Derich has done has been suspicion of PDF tendencies, because this dude is addicted to pornography and posts about porn all the time on Twitter, and I do mean all the time. And he posts some sick shit, man. The one that's burned in my eyes, I really wish I would have not looked at it, because I'll never get that innocence back, is this woman eating cereal out of another woman's ass. You know, it scarred me inside. I didn't even know that was even a thing people could be into. But anyway, and then he also harasses porn stars and cam girls, and he stalks women. And the thing that crosses it over to PDF stuff is that he had a lot of playlists on his original YouTube account that had stuff like young girls playing and stuff like that. And I think another thing that people don't realize about that screenshot about young girls playing and all that is that all the other playlists also seem to indicate that that's pretty much what he does, is he looks up stuff like that. For example, he had a playlist of all the Graverse, how do you pronounce it? Someone here knows how to pronounce it, and you're going to out yourself if you do. The Gravure scenes from Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 2. He had a playlist of all those. I'm like, dude, the only people who have a playlist of that are the people who's probably, spanking it to it. All right? There's no other reason really to have those as a playlist. So even that kind of leans towards that evidence. Graveyard. See, you just outed yourself, Banana Jones. There he is! Officers, there he is.
Those little girl playlists that I used to have. I mean,
Right,
I've seen him following girls on Instagram, really kind of uncomfortable stuff. And
Right,
even
right.
for
Some
somebody
people suspect Derich's PDF,
like
man.
I've seen the shit of the shit on the internet. Like that's my go-to. That's what I like. That's kind of what I'm entertained by.
Yes, and on Instagram and on TikTok.
But it's just, I'm disappointed with Phil for not drawing a line for his own community.
Because DSP doesn't think it's going to affect him.
I agree.
Is this going to ruin streaming with Phil for you?
Oh,
I mean, it already has, because it put basically a doubt in the back of my mind about this one particular person that's kind of a dedicated viewer. And I personally don't have an issue with Derich, excuse me.
Okay.
But
that's fair.
Those things provide me with an issue now.
yes. Good.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't fucking excuse it, bro. So I do the things that I promised to do already.
Okay. And
then at that before it, I really don't know. I can just kind of move on and do what I do.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, I get that. I
mean, that's as good a call as he apparently wants to make right now.
With dealing with Phil is, again, Derich is just the tip of the iceberg. That's what most people go to and see for the first time. But like,
yeah, I really wish I had never known about Derich.
Mock his chat.
I really don't like Derich.
Drillers,
any of his lore, any of his antics.
To his chat over and over again. Yet he's fine with people having racist remarks in his chat for long periods of time. Like, he used to have a fan named Sidella. And this guy,
Sidella,
eventually walked away from Phil and said that he didn't want to be any part of his community anymore. And he was sorry for the things he said about restreamers like, Almighty Tevin or any of the other people. He called them terrible things and wished upon them death and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, didn't he want one of them? Wait, which one of them was it? I remember there were a couple screenshots. Yeah, because Tevin did a video. Tevin did a video discussing DSP's fan base. And he posted all the different screenshots from chat saying, we should kill Tevin and all this and that. And then, Tevin's point at the end was, is this acceptable speech in your community, DSP? To which, DSP never saw it.
Was let go by Phil repeatedly because he felt some kind of connection to it. Just like, there's a guy, a bent boxer right now. He goes by Canadian Kirk.
There you go. There's your Kirk reference.
Who we got there. Haseo's another one. And these guys...
Give him time. We'll all get to Kirk eventually.
Inappropriate, pretty racial talk in his chat.
Oh yeah, the dude was saying a bunch of anti-Jewish stuff, really intense stuff too.
Just because they paid money to Phil. It's very disappointing.
Redemption
that he
Games is
doesn't
the
clean
worst
up his
dent by
community
far.
like that.
I've
And
heard
that
he's
he
a
really
really
doesn't-
disgusting individual.
He doesn't try to police his community, his chat. Like, I've seen sexual role play in there. I've seen
That sounds
very
right,
sexual-
Sniper Lace, man. That sounds like whatever.
yeah,
bro.
like people talking like they're rubbing up against each other in the.
I don't
chat.
remember everything Seidel
For
used to
everybody
say,
else to
but I
see.
remember some specific stuff kind of like that.
Like, it's just, it doesn't. It's a hard place to get into. I mean, Phil has, by his own standards, on YouTube, you can't even live chat with him unless if you've subbed to him for over 24 hours.
Yes, that's a problem.
And then he's restrictive on his language.
He's
He's got a bunch of banned words
also
that
says, God
are
damn it.
very strange. Subaru, horse, the memes. And there's, and again, we're
Yeah, that was a
scratching
non-mouse.
the surface here, and I don't want to drag you deep into the rabbit hole. I like to rather see somebody do some research on their own if it catches their fancy, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
Yeah, because
I'm-
on some levels, when I'm getting people into DSP, I do cringe because there are certain parts of DSP's lore that I just wish didn't exist in some sort of. And Derich's definitely one of them. Derich and his like cat as well. I don't want people to find out about cat. Cat is a very depressing story. Derich is disgusting, and most of DSP supporters are disgusting. I kind of wish it would ironically, just be DSP, but all those other elements just come attached, and it's very frustrating because I want to tell my coworkers, oh yeah, you got to look up this dude Dark Side Phil. He's really funny. He's super stupid, and he plays games bad. Oh, and he does have this followers, kind of like probably a PDF file. Yeah, never mind. Let's not look up DSP.
Much prefer that.
yeah, have you been in contact?
The research. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
you go ahead. I got another question brewing up.
I was going to say the research with the whole Derich stuff is super serious, which is why I seeked it out, because that's a no me.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
But
Some
as
of them
far
are
as,
still kind of
like,
funny, like with Panda Lee.
a lot of the
Panda
other
Lee's
stuff that
stories
I've
are
been
still
being told
amusing to me.
about how he scams and shit like that. Like,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
bro, there's only so much I can do about that. I thought the cat thing was bullshit. I called it out way back then. I told him, bro, 2K for a cat is crazy. He didn't respond.
Yeah.
At this point, I text him that. This wasn't an email.
How's it going on, Thoroku?
But
Research.
Now, if you want to get into
That's like
crazy
me.
numbers and things
Research.
like that, Phil claims that he spends $5,000 a month on his business expenses at this point to run
Oh
his
shit,
stream.
Agent Proper's gonna get super
How much-
toxic.
How much would you
DSP
say you
draws the
actually
line
spend
here.
a month trying to like stream as a hobby even? When was the last time you made an upgrade or anything like that? Can you think of anything on that?
yeah, it wasn't $5,000 though.
Yeah, for real.
I just bought a new mouse.
Was it a
That's about
$5,000
it.
mouse?
I just bought a new mouse and that was like $25. It wasn't nothing crazy.
Oh, you got an El Cheapo
Okay, so-
one.
so-
I'm using controller for 90% of my games, so
Yeah, kind of, Lydia.
But you're not spending
I
$5,000
don't
a
really
month?
know what kind of. Hell no.
No? Okay. Do you play mobile games by chance?
Before we get into this, because that's really good, I kind of have a thought experiment I want to do. Like, how? Okay, let's pretend that DSP is right about costing $5,000 in business expenses. How would you itemize that? How much would it cost? How much would he have to be spending? You know, you got your 2 internet lines, you've got your electricity, and I don't know, you got your space in your house, but that's actually a write-off on stuff. Like, what would he be doing? Okay, you do buy your games. All right, I got that. But other than that, DSP has no expenditures whatsoever. Occasionally a console or occasionally some sort of equipment that he needs at that second. I mean, he bought that TV that one time, but even that TV wasn't $5,000. And I'm just wondering how DSP thinks he can pull the wool over anyone's eyes with that. Bro, people know what $5,000 looks like, okay? And we don't see it. No one sees it. So how can you say this shit is business expenses? You know, if we cut on the camera and DSP's there in a professional ass green screen, he's got all these kick ass graphics, and he says, "Yeah, I paid some people to make these." See, now that'd be something you could write off or claim as a business expense. You paid people to do stuff for your business. Okay, that's technically a business expense. He doesn't pay anybody, so it's definitely not that. I know that it's pointless to debate or to deliberate on this because, yeah, DSP is clearly lying. But I'd like to see if it were true, how could you make it be true? And then you create a ridiculous scenario that way too. The junk food. Okay, now that's the $5,000 right there.
Called Street Fighter Duel. I did that for a little bit.
Yeah, I think Phil has an account on that. But mainly he loves gacha games.
Yep.
He's been addicted to them hopelessly for years. I've counted 13 of them that he's played and wailed out in. And,
13, holy shit.
How
many mobile games did I ever play in my life? I think I played a Star Wars one for 10 minutes and someone asked me for money and I said no.
I've been hearing the lore, but again,
that was like a decade ago, though.
Not relevant to me, so I stayed away from it.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you don't need to buy
booze a business expense? Yes.
Stream with
yes,
him,
Patrick.
At some point.
Mayonnaise is a business expense.
It's strange to me how he can beg for different upgrades for his home, such as broken showers, broken garbage disposals,
and not actually fix those things.
Broken just vacuums, whatever he can, and he, for whatever reason, somehow needs to keep begging for money as a content creator. What kind of light do you think that puts him into? Is that a professional move on his point, or is this kind of a bad call?
I love the shower scam. That was a good scam. It's a great scam. I wish I could do scams like that on people. People are too critical around me.
Repeat the question for me one more time, just so I give you an appropriate answer.
The door frames is busy.
So
okay, yeah, that's.
Phil tends to put his financial burdens, his personal ones that happen to his house and home and vehicle.
It's really dark, little shadow. I love it.
He tends to put that financial burden onto his chat and onto his fan base. Do you think that's an appropriate move for somebody? Verbally tells him this. Like, he's made fundraisers.
So he verbally tells this to his chat.
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
where am I losing you, Brian?
A fundraiser before to save his house.
He tells people pay up or else I'm going to be homeless or whatever.
There was one time many years ago he needed to raise $17,000.
Yeah.
So this is a guy who makes $100K plus a year. No doubt about it. Phil makes probably about $120,000 a year. Streaming to.
So has he ever gone on record and saying like things to his chat along the lines of, "Oh, I'm being completely transparent" or something like that?
Every stream,
he's basically trying to use him telling.
Brian, do you not watch DSP
exactly
streams?
For as a
Twitch every Thursday. Recently, my cat needed a vet work and I put the donation goal. See, that's fine.
Does he do that?
He loves to tell people that he's being honest, but.
And here's the thing also I want to kind of get onto your point there, Nanashi, is what Agent Prop here is asking is if it's appropriate for him to put his financial responsibilities on his viewers. Now, there's the element of the begging. Of course, the begging is toxic. It's very negative and it's very uncomfortable. You know, do you remember the last time you were near a person? You're like, yeah, man, I don't know how I'm going to make ends meet. You remember how awkward you felt because, you had a solution, but you don't want to give it to them because that's not what's being asked here. DSP does that. He creates an overwhelming atmosphere of discomfort. And that's very wrong. It's very wrong to do that to your viewers. That's why people don't do it. It's because it's uncomfortable. But then there's the other element of outside of us detractors who just shit on him for everything, as we should. Even a decent person will be bothered by that. Even a decent person will be annoyed with the constant crisis. So it's, in DSP's perspective, it's always been that anyone who doesn't agree with him is just a toxic, negative, asshole shithead. That's still his narrative. It'll be until he dies, until he has a stroke. It was our fault. But he never really takes into account that normal people find that aversive. Yes, DSP, I am a toxic, negative shithead. You got me. But there are people who are normal who don't like this. And as you said, Nanashi, it'd be okay if he did it maybe once every, 6 or 7 years. Hey guys, I'm having a little bit of hard time with my taxes. Can you guys help? I've got a little fundraiser goal. Okay, sure, whatever. That's fine. This dude has a fundraiser actually every day. Remember his goal? My goal is $50. That's a fundraiser. A fundraiser has a goal for money. So DSP does fundraisers every stream. Confirmed. Just based on definitions. No, people do not want to deal with that shit.
Detractors, that just means, hey, listen up, I need to tell you something important, and it involves money.
Absolutely not, Richard Young.
He needs to tell people that he has problems, that he's a victim for something
Comes in with the best intentions, just actually
something
goes
didn't
on
work out.
says, no, that doesn't work. You're stupid. And he goes, exactly, Stefan.
I mean, even today, I think it was that he was. No, yesterday he was begging for a stream deck for a setup, or some kind of computing masterpiece rig so he can stream.
Yeah, he needs some sort of super ENIAC
on a gaming PC. He wants something about $2,000 for it. Is what he's looking for, but he
$2,000 for a gaming PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
To stream and do what
that's not too unreasonable. I mean, it's unreasonable the DSP's asking for, but that price isn't too unreasonable for a good one.
He's ending up currently taking Catherine, his wife's PC, and going to be using it at some point this summer to use that as a new
Steam Deck, device. Not Stream Deck. Oh, right. I'm sorry, Agent Proper. You're going to have to take down the video and correct it.
Trying to victim spin things. He tries to tell people he has 2 big bills here, 2 big bills there.
Dude, surprise bills.
Something has gone wrong.
I got ambushed by bills. I was walking Jasper, right? A bunch of bills came out and beat me up.
Apparently stole a car tire off of their vehicle.
Yeah, they repossessed my tire.
Guilt trips that come with it. Even as something as simple as telling his audience that he needs to show up.
Obviously needs Deep Blue.
Contribute, and that means money.
It's the only way I'm going to win a Street Fighter.
And like his streams and videos. And talk to him. He gets really mad if you don't talk to him about the game. You saw the whole steak rant. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, this is just tip of the iceberg stuff. I mean, as somebody who, would you consider yourself his friend at this point?
Friend is a very loose term that's being thrown around. I can't really call him my friend. That's hard. Is he a internet associate, a friend in that sense? Absolutely. But I can't sit here and say like, oh, he's on the same level as my friends that I literally played Street Fighter with the other night. That's not. No, the term friend is thrown around way too much.
Shut down.
No.
Would he benefit from actually having
DSP has been unfriended.
Somebody who's going to be cut.
He's an established internet ally
at this point.
Yes, and I'm gonna break it down for you.
Exactly,
so
Richard Young.
This is
that transparency is required at this point.
I feel like had Phil
DSP
not
called him a
kind
friend.
of put himself into this bubble, right? And he would have allowed exactly what he'll call me his friend or whatever. Fine. If he would have allowed people to tell him when his shit stinked way back when, which is why he kind of sent that email like, disappeared and blah, 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 blah. Had that not happened, sure, I would have been up for the friend terminology. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, and that's kind of what, I think I went off on this a couple of times, probably while I was high as well, is that DSP, you actually can't be his friend. And I'm not talking about how negative he is. And, well, that is a huge core component. Let me take that back. It is a huge core component of how negative he is. But just that it's not ever going to be a friendship with DSP. You can't be friends with him, even if you really wanted to. And we saw this with Howard and John. John was not a friend to DSP. He was a financial possibility. Same thing with Brian. Brian will never be a friend to DSP because he can't do that. DSP's definition of friendship is you just give me whatever I want and then get the hell out of my face. And Brian also kind of realizes this as well, is that in the inverse direction, like you can't get anything out of him either. So yeah, even if someone had the best of intentions, you could never really be that with DSP. He just can't offer you friendship.
But with that being said, you close yourself off. You put yourself into
I don't actually
box.
know that part of the lore, Hines.
Friends do what? They tell you when you're being a dumbass. They tell you when you're making good decisions.
And you can't do that.
They tell you when you're making bad decisions.
Cannot do it. You have to only praise me.
That's what a friend does. He doesn't allow his friends to do that. So, yes, he would benefit from having friends, but he doesn't because he doesn't allow it to happen.
No. Brian, I mean, you're right, but you're not even right all the way. So 60% credit. DSP, with his friends, he has made it that way. There were times in DSP's life where he had friends. And I'm not just talking about John. I'm talking about mods that, would hang out with him or talk to him and stuff. He had Air Raid Lord. He had all these other characters that were DSP's friends. And they just all got tossed away because they just refused to give him infinite money, or at least give him the avenues of infinite money, and refused to kiss his ass 24/7. So I kind of debunk myself a little bit here when I was saying the other day, if DSP just had better role models and had a better peer group, would he turn out better? No, because DSP doesn't want that. He doesn't want a peer group that will challenge him. We've seen that very clearly. That's why I really don't think he mourns Panda Lee one iota. I don't think he misses her one iota. I think when they broke up, he missed the things that Panda Lee provided, cleaning, cooking, all that shit. He didn't care about her. Who was she? She was this person who challenged him, who said that I was wrong, that I do things incorrect, that I do things that are bad, that I don't appreciate. I don't need to hear that. I need to hear praise 24/7. And I think he did a really good job with Kat. Now, I think Kat does get grumpy with him sometimes because, anybody would. But I don't think Kat will ever challenge him. Because when we hear stuff like, does Kat know about WWE champions? I assure you she does. But she's never going to challenge him on it. Panda Lee would challenge DSP to his face about it. Well, maybe we'd have more money if you weren't putting it all on naked, sweaty Hogans all day. All right, get out of my room. We'd get that happening. So DSP intentionally cultivated an environment where he does not have to grow or does not have to change.
Okay. Yeah, I like that answer. That's well said. I really appreciate that.
He thought John was a friend to a degree. I think so.
Solid friends over.
And I think that his definition of friend is warped.
You probably still play video games with them on the nightly, if not whenever you can get a session.
Still making friends.
Do we put a label on this? Do I confirm you on Facebook?
Your friend group over that you try to jump in with Phil, do you think that they would have gone on that stream and partied up with Phil?
Yeah, Kuro, for sure.
So here's what I did. I hit my friends up.
Hold on, I'm sorry, I missed that question. I was kind of distracted for a second. Let me
rectify on the nightly, if not. Okay, yeah, I like that answer. That's well said. I really appreciate that because,
yes, Stephen, because that is a friend.
Solid friends over the internet, and I'm sure you have too. And you probably still play video games with them on the nightly, if not whenever you can.
Still send them death threats to this day.
Work a 9 to 5. Do you think your friend group over that you try to jump in with Phil? Do you think that they would have gone on that stream and partied up with Phil?
Oh yeah, bring in your guests.
So here's what I did. I hit my friends up. Really good players.
Okay. Before he actually gives the answer, I want you all to close your eyes and imagine that DSP and Bryan are playing Street Fighter. And Bryan basically gave the Discord link to his friends and told them, come in whenever. But DSP was not informed about this. So he's just playing Street Fighter, getting bodied, and he suddenly starts hearing a shit ton of voices start popping into his mic, or onto his headphones. Who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? Man, the look of pure terror in his face. Because those are all these people he doesn't know if he has control over or not. There's like 4 other people in here? No. Cutting the stream. Can't have this.
Tournament people that would probably have destroyed him way more than I fucking did. They all were down to get into a lobby with him. And they weren't going to troll him. They weren't going to be assholes.
Yeah, get in there.
They were just going to get on a mic and we were all just going to shoot the shit like gentlemen. And play Street Fighter.
Not important. If you actually don't know, there is a beautiful video that John and Howard did. And it was like, just type in John Howard tell all or whatever. That'll give you all the information you need. And it will make you very angry and depressed for the rest of the night.
It was going to be a damn good lobby. My one friend Eric that y'all might have seen me playing the other night. Really good player. He wanted to play.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, people fell asleep.
Oh man!
All of my friends.
They didn't even get to DSP stream yet.
Yeah. Nobody's streaming.
That's where you're supposed to sleep.
So we were definitely going to come with the content for you guys. We were definitely bringing it, and Phil was down.
What
to do the lobbies actually?
Oh shit!
It surprised me,
man. Okay, yeah, that shocks me.
Surprised that he was actually open to do it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I
don't know about that
too, because most of the time, if somebody got on a live mic with Phil, and we're able to talk to him, interact with him, like you did on the other stream. He seems very alien. He comes off as kind of just, socially stunted. It might be from just years of being
Yeah, I think it's just
shut in his
socially
own
isolated.
little world of a hug box on the internet. But I think he only gets out one day a week into the real world.
And even then, sometimes not that one day.
Socially, do you think
hurts
that
him.
this hurts him?
It does.
And we have a recent event that demonstrates how it hurts him. And that was the eat my ass with a spoon thing. That whole event, if DSP had been properly socialized and had spent time with people and was familiar with jokes, memes, all that sort, he would have not been as bothered by that. Now, granted, he probably still would have gotten cranky because that's just DSP's tendency. But I don't think it would have led to that kind of nuclear meltdown if DSP knew what the reference was. He's just like me for. If he knew what that meant, I don't think he would have been that annoyed. I mean, he would be pissed. Don't get me wrong. DSP would still yell at the guy. But screaming, eat my shit with a spoon would have not happened if DSP had any sort of social circle that exposed him to memes, jokes, and humor.
Oh, you got a cat. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, cat.
Where's the cat?
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
Hold him up.
Did you charge your chat money to see him?
No, I did not charge
Yes, I did. Look at him. He's such a happy little guy.
My cats.
I will forever make fun of that.
You should. I mean,
like
Yeah,
I
exactly,
said, I've
Osiris.
said
He
this
still
to
wouldn't
him.
have gone
I will
through with it.
forever make fun of that. That shit was crazy.
you should. It's
But-
insane, and it's not the only time he's ever done anything like that. He used to run different things through his whole Patreon about.
Oh, yeah,
trying
the
to get a
Patreon
camera
scams were
and
extensive.
Doing certain
The
places
Patreon
for
scams
people,
are the
and
things
he
that
pulled
convinced me that
record
DSP was a
on.
shithead.
Be like, oh,
Instead of
I
just
can't
some
play Mario
edgelord.
Sunshine because I already played 3 Mario games, or hey, my wife's going to show up on stream.
Project 7.
which happened for the first time in like 5 years. We finally saw his wife show up.
Yeah, remember when we were going to do
And,
Cooking with the King
right.
with
She
Cat?
gained some weight.
It
She
happened.
gained some weight, and that's just her choice. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on
I've
with that.
seen a picture on somebody's Twitter.
You might want to see a couple more pictures.
I'm sure
'Cause
you
there's
might
a
see
lot of
few
joke
more
pictures out there.
Definitely looks
tonight.
different.
Yeah, she does.
She
Do you think it's a stressful situation to deal with Phil on a day-to-day
Yes,
basis?
Richard. It's very
with
childish.
your own interaction, was it pretty simple, or was it him demanding from you? Did it feel like that at all?
No, he never demanded anything.
Okay.
When
Yeah,
it-
'cause he's
when
not in
it
a
came
position
to
to.
him asking for things or trying to set stuff up, he was very nice, very respectful. No issues with that. He was always really respectful to me.
And I'm going to go on something here also with Brian whenever he's talking about this, is that whenever we make fun of DSP for being super meek and passive, especially when he was confronted by people IRL, it is DSP's tendency. DSP is a very meek, sheepish young man at his core. He's a very nervous, insecure lad. And I'm not saying that to make him sound more charming, I guess. But what I'm saying is that all of this is very much like LTG, where this is all a facade. All of his anger and vitriol and all that is a facade to try and hide from his deep down weakness that he feels. He feels very pathetic and inadequate all the time, I'm sure. And that's why he has to tell himself these things. There's a recent clip from Six Erican, which if I get through this quickly enough, I'm probably not. I'm not even halfway done. Holy shit. I keep pausing it. But anyway, there's a Six Erican had his own Panda Lee moment where his girlfriend came in and just started shitting on him, just talking all this mess on him. And he really didn't have a whole lot of response to it. But he started doing that very clear thing where this guy is very insecure about himself. And so he started, talking all this shit back to try and make himself seem more important. Basically, the whole "this is going to remain a man's own" kind of thing. But DSP has never really been able to mature past, I would say, the age of 14. He's this terrified young man who doesn't know what he's doing. And he's so convinced that because he's been successful, or better yet, hasn't cataclysmically failed yet, that he's still doing all right. And so he needs to hype himself up all the time. Anyway, where I'm going with all this is that when you have these stories about DSP talking to people, and there's a lot of stories of it, talking to Brian, talking to Adam and Craig initially when they were first reaching out to him and all that, DSP is very, very polite and agreeable. And I would even say that he's probably around that same kind of quality around Cat because he's just not a confrontational person. But as soon as he is put in a position where he does not have to respect you because you can't talk shit to him back to his face or respond to him in any capacity, all that's gone. All of that pretentious, polite behavior is gone. And he goes to being the aggressive, ultra violent shithead all the time. And that's probably why he lives in that gated community. I'm telling you, he lives there because he's scared.
The only negative thing I could say about him is that
Exactly, Neil. It's shit content.
Like I said before, he puts himself into this bubble, and I don't know why. I understand
you know why, Brian.
Trying to isolate
How's
yourself
it going, Mr.
from
Casanova?
the quote-unquote detractors, and trying to protect the people you deem as your friends or family or people you care about, so that the detractors... Go ahead.
I think my stream finished.
Oh, is it fucked up again?
Yeah, but my OBS is still running.
Minosky particles, man.
That's weird.
Oxified.
It didn't even give me a warning or anything from that. So we should be fine.
I don't know human centipede what it could ever really be.
Yeah, we should be still good.
So I don't even think YouTube going down will stop him.
Said,
I mean,
hey,
it
man,
might, but this dude is persistent little shithead. He'll stream on Facebook before he ever calls quits.
Chat says we're good, so we're good.
I think it's going to be a health crisis.
Don't need any more Comcast, rug pulls.
It's going to be a surgery that Kat has to do, or else she's going to lose her leg. And I know that's really dark, but it could happen.
Let's see.
It could very well happen, given her health.
We talked about Kat. We talked about streaming. What are your personal goals with your streaming? I think that's something I would like to ask you.
Okay, so for me, streaming is a job. A lot of people would love to. Streaming is a hobby that a lot of people will want to make a job. Correct?
Absolutely.
Most people do. Would I love to do it full time?
And I think I've said this before. I'm sorry I keep pausing it, but you guys do a really good job of inspiring thoughts out of me. DSP is right to some degree when he says that, you guys wish you could do what I do for a living. You guys wish you could play video games and do what I do for a living and get money. On some level, I agree. I do really wish I could do that. I really wish I could just play games and have it be a job. And the main reason why I wish that when I watch DSP is that I know I would do better. I know I would do better than DSP. This guy can't figure out a menu setting. It's the most terrible content you could watch, and any one of us could do better. So yeah, on that end, I wish I could do your job, DSP. You would see greatness. Not necessarily a lot of greatness because it's me, but you would see more than what you're seeing from yourself.
I'm absolutely.
LTG is extremely insecure.
Would love to do it full time. I would want to do it on my own merits though, and I don't want to put myself into this box.
If he gets cancer, he's going to have the most aggressive cancer you've ever seen in your life.
My streams are only
and he'll
that.
also just always use that as a shield. You can't make fun of me. I have cancer.
Kind of like a free bird type stream, kind of similar to shouts out to Doc. Similar to how Doc runs his streams, where it feels like
I'm happy
a
for you,
show.
Hines. I'm happy that you turned it around.
It's not this super conflicted, or should I say constricting setup to where you're stuck on one thing. Sure, you may enter that stream with an idea.
Pausing too much.
Like, I'm going to start with Street Fighter 6 tonight. But shit, an hour in, I might not feel like playing Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
All of a sudden, I'm playing Fortnite. 30 minutes later, I'm watching random ass videos on YouTube. I can curse here, right?
Oh yeah, you can say whatever you want, man.
Oh, sorry, you're gonna have to be banned.
Use whatever slur you want, or say whatever you want.
Well, don't tell him that agent proper. He might just let a bunch loose.
So
Brian says, you know what they say in China, right?
Financially is not something I was really looking forward to with streaming. I wasn't looking for finances, not by any means. I pretty much used it at first as a tool for me to practice voice acting, which is why I got into GTA roleplay. Because ultimately, my goal is to be a voice actor.
Where's your reel?
My goal.
I want to hear it.
Yeah, I think I saw your voice
acting.
That's pretty good.
It's malignant, dude.
Yes. And
it'll be fine.
So streaming, what better place to get your practice in than
Malignant's
basically
bad.
improv, where there is no script. The only thing you have, you are the star of the show. You have to react to situations around you. You have to react to situations.
Yes, and it's a huge responsibility.
You don't even know are going to happen within the
if
next
people aren't feeling
minutes.
something, you got to pick up on that.
And you can either choose to make
it
them
like being a
entertaining,
DJ, you know? A streamer is a
you
DJ.
can just ignore them. But a good voice actor, somebody that's trying to get better, always adapts to every situation.
Adapts to situations. Nah, I get this guy out of here. That's not how life works.
It's practice time. Got into GTA roleplay. Sent my acting skills from...
Yeah, for real, Bryan has a much more interesting life than the Pig Roach. It really is compelling how DSP is the most boring character in his own story. You know?
0 to like 70. I'm not at 100 yet.
I'd imagine even Cat has more interesting stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, it always takes practice. I feel you.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just playing around Mr. Casanova. Like, I just figured that's what DSP would call him, you know, maybe 10 years ago.
Are you more focused on Street Fighter 6 than any other game currently?
Because he's betraying me.
Yes,
he betrayed my trust.
We're talking competitive, yes.
Okay.
Street Fighter 6 is my competitive game. My fun game is, you know, the Fortnites, the Elden Ring. Who plays Elden Ring for fun I don't know, but I do.
I like Elden Ring for fun.
I like a good hard game. That's for sure. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 solo lately. That's been a good time. I just transferred over to PC game.
I just platinumed Rise of the Ronin.
I tried to get you
pretty much done with that game forever.
You got to team up with me. You want to team up with me and play some Destiny 2? We can call Kat. We can get her on the phone.
Something I would.
Now that sounds like a stream right there.
We'll get DSP's wife. She's playing Destiny 2. We'll get her the sweet exotics.
You think that, but she rage quit it.
We'll get a game in, you know, run a raid. I don't know. It's just fun to play video games with people. And I don't get it. I played with some of the guys in chat you're seeing, like Lefty and some of these other guys. We got some Halo in there together. That was a ton of fun. It's been good. I always like to broaden my horizons too. Maybe I'll have to actually get into some fighting games. Would you play some sets with me and laugh?
Play Guilty Gear.
Just a punch.
There's a cool mod on there.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm always down to, you know, show people the ropes and give pointers, because my Street Fighter learning, or should I say career, started with Third Strike.
So you're an actually good player,
Street Fighter
according to
4,
LTG anyway.
I didn't get good.
Well,
in
you're
Street
black,
Fighter
so actually
4
that doesn't
until
help you with
Ultra came
LTG.
out.
So never mind. Back to
when I finally feel like I started actually.
Shit, and you cannot please
playing the
LTG
game.
now that I think about it, man.
Street Fighter 5 was decent, but I didn't actually feel good until the end of the game life cycle, when I really got into how Vega operated.
LTG was saying that one time. He said that games are made easy if black people can play them. Hey, bro, come on, man. That is some intense Uncle Ruckus energy. Cut it out.
I hit the ground running, because from the beta, I'm like, oh, this is it. This is my game.
That's nice. My personal favorite.
Yeah,
if
not
I was
important.
to get into any Street Fighter, it's Third Strike. I don't know. It just fits me. I like its art style. I like the super system. I'm a big fan of.
I would say that if I go by
game,
aesthetics, I think Third Strike looks the best.
The music is fantastic. It's been real good.
It is. I will say this: Street Fighter Third Strike is what the parry system should be in 6. I think the parry system in 6 is a little too easy. It should be how it is in Third Strike, because getting perfect parries is way too easy.
Hey, I'm going to spoil something here, not important. But there might be a time where I'm going to do a Going Green sometime, and it's going to be called Open Mic Night. And people can join the Discord call and hang out for a little bit. And I'll give you like 15 minutes or 20 minutes before I kick you out. It's all in good love, but it's just to keep things cycling. I was thinking about doing like an open mic night, kind of like what you're describing. Maybe I'll demo it, and if it's a complete shit show, don't do what I did.
A bit of a difficult question. How do you feel about Phil's racism over the years?
I love it. Keep it up, Phil.
Okay, so this is all new to me.
Okay.
It is? Okay, yeah, you really don't watch his streams.
So you're going to have to, yeah.
I got a clip for you, and I think it's pretty important to go
Do
over.
it. Play the clip.
Let me put this up here.
Play it out of context.
The Side Scrollers interview.
How does he not know any of this? Yeah, exactly.
Interview with,
dude, did you just get here, Brian?
Craig, Adam Krigler, that whole crew. It was a kind of a tell.
Brian, do you know what they say in China?
And what ended up happening is that Phil had some kind of a weird comment during one of these kind of walking simulator games that he was doing. It's the slave trade comment that he made, and it's
so hard about
let me
pressing
get your take
forward
on
or down
this.
a moment of impact on Third Strike.
Okay.
Well,
got mine up
I
here.
admit
You
I
should
get a
be
little
able to
nervous
see it. If
sometimes
not,
during
you'll
fighting
hear it
games.
on stream, and
Get a little
we'll get it
antsy
for
and I
you.
press wrong buttons and it's not my fault.
Your raw reaction to how this whole thing plays out.
Alrighty.
But the stigma remains.
Well, let's talk about something real quick that can
I'm
add to
already
that
cringing.
stigma,
Oh,
right?
shit.
And I think this
We haven't
is
even
like
gotten to
this
it
is
yet,
important.
Brian.
So the light bulb went off, about a year ago. You
He
gotta
says it's a
change,
dictator
you change
hat,
your
the one
background
who
and
waits.
stuff.
This is the lead up to the.
But I want to bring up, like, there's still jokes that are made that that don't necessarily, like, they don't fit today. And
Yeah.
I want to play one for you really
Sure.
quick and just kind of get your reaction to this. Okay, so this is
Oh, here
this
we go.
is.
Oh yeah, it's a good clip.
You know where this
DSP,
is
you know
going.
what happens?
I want to watch this so,
Well,
so
don't
we all
spoil it.
understand
Tell us
what's going
don't
on.
tell us what happens. Yeah. Now, this is some good comedy, DSP. All right. You said this was a wholesome comment. You didn't say that.
All right, boys, prepare the slave trade. We're selling her right off for profit.
God, it's so disgusting, Phil. Why? What neural activity happened in your brain to make you do that?
Put the kid in the vehicle.
God, man. Dude.
Right, she's too valuable to escape. She's worth lots of money.
We're Tire Rack. We test
Let me get
tires
hit
to
by
provide you with
I don't know. That was a weird window into DSP's past. Like, if that hit me out of nowhere in the middle of the This Is How You Don't Play from 2014, I mean, it wouldn't feel out of place there. It definitely feels out of place here. DSP, I thought you were
I'll stop
grown and
there,
matured,
but
bro.
That's a whole clip. What do you think about that?
So, first of all, there is no
Tire
reason
rack. Oh,
to make that joke. Because I highly doubt
that's very topical for
the
DSP.
game was about what he just said.
No, Brian, you're wrong. He
Or
said that
was it
that guy was
about-
corrupt and
or
evil.
should I say in a time period in which that would even make sense for that to come across his mind? Am
Yeah.
I correct in saying this?
You're correct. It did not have any relevance to what the context of the video game was. I mean, Phil would argue after that ad roll that he didn't believe he was racist for calling it out, but other people were if they went after him for it.
So if anyone doesn't know and doesn't want to care to go back to watch it, DSP's defense of it was that he said that the sheriff was clearly corrupt. So it was a joke basically pointing out the corruption of this police officer and that this police officer would inherently do awful things such as traffic children because clearly he's just corrupt. The problem with this, and I said it then, I'll say it every time it comes up because I just feel like it's a context that matters, is that I watched that stream. I watched that stream from the very beginning when he started the game up. At no point in the game did it even remotely imply, up until that point where he made the joke, that the sheriff was corrupt. There was zero implication. So this has two things that come up. One, either DSP looked up a guide or looked up all the story already, which I wouldn't put it past him, so he already knew the guy was corrupt. Two, he only made up that excuse after the corruption had been more established, and that his brain, of course, lies about it and says that, oh, it's always been there. No.
There's only
Yeah, instead of, murder or something.
I think racist is probably the wrong word to use here.
Okay.
It was a shitty thing to say. Does it have racist tones to it? Absolutely.
Exactly, Cyrus. This is
There
what he
was
does when
literally
he
no
doesn't do poop
excuse
jokes.
for him to make that joke. The only
Poop is a safe territory at that point.
situation to where I could say, okay, I see what he's saying, is if it was in a time period of what was happening and the character was doing that the entire game. Considering
wow, Brian's a little bit more
did
lenient
not
than I am. I
happen
still wouldn't find that
at
appropriate.
all, yeah, there's no fucking excuse whatsoever for him to have made that joke.
Now there's a detractor meme out there I'm sure you saw it in chat. A lot of people put up the orange face and the fingernail bite because Phil has a habit to bite his fingernails whenever a person
Slave trade and human
of color
trafficking.
shows
And he
up
said
on
he was
his
using the
stream.
voice to act as sheriff,
It'd
but
be
dropped
in
the
the
voice when he
game
said
or talking to him or
he's too
anything like that.
valuable
I'm
to
sure it
escape.
will get flooded by the chat with those. But I got
DSP's
his
narrative
response.
falls apart amidst his own narrative.
You said when
It's kind of like an
colored people show
auto.
up?
Yeah, it's a weird auto response, and it's been a meme for a couple of years now. But
Did he do that in that video we just watched? Actually, I didn't look for that.
he might have, but he definitely.
I don't think so. I don't think he did.
More.
That's because he was prepping up something
to be
far
honest.
crazier.
It's very strange and awkward, and it's usually during, if a black person shows up on stream.
Yep.
He has to do some weird racist jokes about chitlins and, smoking weed or doing
because
anything
that's
like
a
that.
black
There's
exclusive thing,
black
right?
Pack.
I never
like
understood
the black
DSP's
woman
weird
stealing
racism.
the backpack. There's a bunch of these.
Like 4-year-old
I
racism.
could
It doesn't
send
even
you
make
50
sense at all.
off the top. But it's just, this is what Phil does. And that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, there's a
That
black
was,
lady.
like, last
Watch
year,
out.
to be honest.
Okay. What's the joke?
There's threads full of this stuff. Threads full of him being racist towards Asian people.
So there's an ancient stream from Tevin where he was going over DSP's weird stories that he would tell about his different travels. And one of them, he was talking about, you have to be careful in New York. I'm going to go into DSP just so you can kind of get the impression of what he was saying. And, people in New York will try and rip you off and scam you. They'll come up to you and be like, yo, dog, yo. And then Tevin paused the stream and said, I wonder if you asked him if these characters were black, if he'd yell at you. But I'm getting the impression that they might actually be black.
Chicky Chang Wang kind of commentary.
Oh, nice.
Like that.
Come back to that.
And he's been doing it for years. It does it.
So I do know he did.
Interacts with them at call
he
centers.
did have some, stereotype charged jokes. I've heard a little bit in the past, but these are old. Like you said, the Chinese one just now, right?
Yeah, that's an older one.
That's probably the only one I have heard. Yeah, I did hear that one before.
That's probably in the This Is How You Don't Play.
Yeah, you'll get a couple of those sprinkled in there.
There's a bunch of them, and it happens over and over again. How does that make you feel as a streamer of color?
DSP
Is
still
it
do
hard
that.
to
I
get
start
over
paying
this
attention to
when
Say Goodbye
you
to
see
now.
this
Yeah, he
guy
still does it.
you were
He still does
trying
it.
to
People
have
have caught him
live
doing
streams
it.
with, kind of put this stuff into his content, and I do want you to watch his response here shortly. Well,
Wait, we got more racist stuff?
Okay. Field for this clip, so I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up, and you can think and formulate your answer for a little bit. But let me bring the rest of his answer back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
he needs to.
So what's going on?
I sure
man?
hope he has.
Let's talk about that. How does that when you see that? When you see that, how does that make you feel?
die there,
what are you
Phil?
thinking? Do you regret that saying that? Is that edgy humor?
Well, first of all, I have an honest question for you guys. You've now seen it. I don't know if Adam has ever seen that clip before. Okay.
No, I haven't.
The first time?
I gotta
Okay.
mute this.
What do you think?
Yeah, it sure feels like it. It
I'm
feels like
curious,
he's trying to
what do
be
you think
very
I was
careful with
trying
what
to
he
do?
says.
That you're selling that.
And I
girl.
think that's a really good
Slave
trait to
trade.
have. I think you should be
That's
careful with
what it
what
sounded
you
like.
say.
That's pretty fucked up.
Okay. Now, from what reference do you think? How can I say this? Okay, I'll approach it from the detractor perspective. Okay, from the detractor perspective.
No, I want to hear your perspective.
I loved when
Yeah.
he did that. He's like, no, we're not doing that.
well,
Let's hear
it's-
yours.
It's pretty obvious what the detractors mean. For me, that would have put me on the detractor side because it sounds like you were making a joke about selling that little girl to the slave trade. How is it not that? What did you?
Yeah, you
Oh,
gotta
no,
understand the
that's
context, buddy.
Absolutely, that's the joke. But
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
hilarious.
difference
Come on, man.
Between saying that's okay,
Don't be a
it's
stick in the
funny,
mud, Adam.
or the ridiculousness of the situation. See, you just saw that clip completely out of context, correct? You don't know what's going on.
I don't know
in
what
the game right
context could exist.
Okay, explain the context then.
that sheriff is a corrupt sheriff. He is actually orchestrating a situation to try to murder people inside a building to protect his secrets. He's like a
But you
dark
didn't
guy
know
who
that at the
controls
time,
whole
DSP.
town. And no one knows this. Everyone thinks the sheriff's a squeaky clean guy. So you're
Maybe
just being
DSP could just
revealed
see the
throughout
future.
plot
We
that
never
he's a
thought about that.
scumbag, right? So the joke is this guy's such a scumbag.
Pause it real quick.
He's
All right,
like
take
to
care,
say to the
Nanashi.
Dad,
Drive
I'm
safe.
going to save your
Don't
daughter.
go on the
Give me your
sidewalk.
daughter. Let's take.
Go ahead.
What do you think, Brian? Lay it on me.
I'm sorry. It was like hearing his explanation.
He's got an accent.
It's actually really upsetting because you say he explains what's happening in the game, and I was going to ask you what fucking game it was. I was going to look it up and figure out where that scene was, where it was going, all the above. But he literally just answered my question. So he made it even worse by giving this explanation.
Yeah, for real.
Because it really was no fucking reason to make the joke. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. This is what we're here for. I mean,
Man, Brian's just coming to the same conclusion as any normal person, DSP. What does that tell you?
Might not have seen from Phil. And,
Exactly, Cadence. It was very beautiful how he kept DSP on track. Honestly, DSP should have been friends with Adam.
Scumbag. He probably did something like that. He probably, trafficked people. That's the joke. Now,
Brian is banned forever.
Is it a joke that's acceptable by today's standards? By 80% of people, probably not. I agree with you.
Do you think that's a joke? Like, do you think that's a joke acceptable by any standards? Like, I mean, I don't.
Maybe the 1800s,
2 decades ago, 3 decades ago.
And it's like, I just want to hear your thoughts on that, because I think there's edgy content and there's inappropriate
beyond a reasonable doubt. In the case,
and we've all been guilty of edgy content before.
Yeah, he just makes himself further guilty when he tries to defend himself.
Dark humor.
DSP just needs a lawyer there with him, for real.
The risque.
Don't answer that, Phil.
Not to say that I've heard much worse.
Don't answer that, Phil.
Obviously, from other people.
Don't answer that, Phil.
Okay
I basically can't even talk during my own stream. Yes, sir.
Well, especially with what's following you around, your reputation, right? Do you think that if the light truly went off in your head to say, like, I got to change, don't you think it would be like, well, maybe I should bite my tongue on this one? I may be thinking.
You don't understand how this works, dude.
How about I bite
he
my
does
tongue
reactionary commentary.
Yes.
Stupid.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it,
It's a
bro.
working process. It's something that has to happen naturally over time. It's not something that can be a switch that's flipped, because.
But I feel like you could have switched on that one.
I was someone who's done this for 15 years back in the day. That's what people.
It's not a switch you can just
want.
toggle. That's why I had to say something.
From me. That's what got me popular.
Maybe you just don't say something that one time. That's a good start.
Unacceptable, over the top, dark humor joke.
He bites his nails instead of his tongue. Yeah, there you go.
Today it's not.
Got it all backwards.
I know that, but the thing is, those jokes still click in my head. I absolutely should have not.
Exactly, Wilson.
I'll
change.
Right now,
change is hard. That's why I haven't done any change at all.
It's a working process, and it's
a work in progress. That's why I haven't made any progress.
Some kind of an air of fairness, or at least you have to see the big picture. All right, I've been doing this for 15 years.
Is this helping the joke, DSP? The 15 years part.
I do it 6 days a week, full time. 6 days a week, I'm here, full time streaming. I have over 100,000 videos on the internet.
What do you guys to say, Brian?
People will always find something that moment of weakness, that stupid thing that I said. I know, stupid Phil. Why the hell did I make that joke?
Oh, gonna report this for self-harm.
Out there, and all you can do is apologize for it.
Yeah, Benji, that was really gross.
You're gonna do better and try not to do it and move on. Now, there's a reason.
Yes, I remember that little shout. It was on Wolong.
Okay, this is what, March?
Jailbait and all that.
And you had to show a clip, one random clip from last summer. You didn't show something I did in the last week, the last month. You showed something.
But DSP, what's the statute of limitations? Okay, you can't judge me on something I did last summer.
Hyper analyzed, looked in with a microscope.
It doesn't even need to hyper analyze this.
This is what Dark Side Phil is.
Just a toxic comment, bro.
Have you watched the last 5 years of content I've put out? There's probably. Okay, yes, I'm a human. I make errors. Absolutely.
Yeah, and sometimes we just say racist stuff. What can I say, man?
This is not the norm on my stream.
Sometimes I'm just hanging out at work and I start making slave trade jokes. What can I say?
And if all you knew of Dark Side Phil was that joke, you would hate my guts. You'd be like, what a scumbag.
Man, Adam is not buying this. He's already distracted by the cat.
What kind of a horrible person thinks child trafficking is funny? When you watch it in context,
I know what you did last summer,
Snorri. It's still bad.
Well, you don't know the context.
I don't know. The context that you explained didn't make it any better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine. I agree.
Because
that's fine.
I'm not sure which character you're even like portraying. So were you acting as the sheriff?
No, weirdly enough, I was acting as the girl about the sheriff. Yeah, pretty wild.
I think that, like, in a situation like that, like, we live in a society now where, like, look, I understand that going into this interview that literally every second of this is going to be analyzed, and Adam understands that, and you understand that, right? But literally everything you say, there's a camera on you at all times, especially when you're a live streamer.
Was wrong,
you know,
and you want to do better. Then stop making excuses.
I mean, for somebody who does this for a living, I just feel like
you're supposed to make it 0% of your content. So it's not even like you have to do a lot of work
at sometimes, and you need to know better. I mean, you said it yourself. The switch was flipped, and I understand that. I totally understand. I am very forgiving of mistakes, right? But when there's a pattern of these things,
I have kind of a question that's kind of unrelated. I don't know if anybody could fill me in on this. Why did Adam leave the side scrollers? Because I had a really toxic joke for a second. I was going to say this is probably why Adam left, is because he was thinking, Craig, what the hell did you bring me on to watch with this stupid asshole? But why did Adam leave?
They go back over the course of time. Like, it's no longer a mistake.
Tone and mannerisms
it's
have compared to his own
it's
streams.
a continuation.
He's nervous and his confidence is slipping away when he
I don't know.
Exactly.
I think, look,
and he just buckles.
If you're saying that I'm also a big believer in taking people at their word, right? Up until their actions show different.
I thought Adam left.
So you're saying that over the course of since that joke, you've been pretty squeaky clean, and you haven't made inappropriate.
Yeah,
jokes
you haven't made
like
inappropriate jokes about jailbait characters and Will Long. No.
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't want to say that because I'm here 6 days a week full time.
I don't want to say that I haven't said anything racist.
I guarantee you, if I say right now, if I say, man, yeah, that was it, Craig, that's all I remember. Immediately there'll be other examples tossed out right now, and they'll find.
But don't you feel like that's kind of already a bad place to be at? Is if you're saying, oh, I'm sure if I say I didn't say anything racist, people will find something racist. That's not good. That's not a good place to be at.
Right?
I understand.
And that's the problem is when you are 100% on the internet.
I think so, Heinz.
The amount of content I put out on the internet, they will always find another example or whatever. I am actively trying to change. What I will say is this.
If you're actively trying to change, how can they pull from so many different examples?
Last maybe 2-3 years to really find
I see Wilson.
pattern of
Sniper Blaze, man, you say so as well? Okay.
Okay, maybe you'll find a few. I'm definitely a flawed individual. But you're not going to find it as like you wouldn't say, oh, here's 47 times within a year that Phil did that. I know for a fact he's a scumbag, right?
Well, I would think if you said it 5 times within a year, people would think you're a scumbag.
And then they blow it up on the internet.
You just gave so many different people a reason to do exactly that.
Oh, they will. I know that. But
Adam, I'm sorry, but we don't really need to.
It doesn't matter what I say or do. This is what they do. So
now you said that the switch in your brain, was off, so that you made that joke. Like, do you have it?
Look, dude, do we not just all throw out slurs occasionally?
Thinking like when you said that, you're like, maybe that was too much, or you were just free flowing, and that's just kind of you.
DSP definitely free flows.
Let me put it
usually
this way.
his begs.
If I'm streaming and a joke pops into my head, and I feel, oh man, that's probably too much. Today, I usually will not say it. Usually. It'll be maybe an extenuating circumstance or
the slave trade joke. You got to throw those out. Those are really funny. They resonate with a lot of people.
Was a momentary lapse.
I'll end that clip there.
No, that's a load of shit, man.
We'll let chat kind of.
I think the only thing that I could say is racist, but I'll almost give a pass to, was when he was using that accent with that Hispanic girl in Pokemon. Only because I kind of found it funny just to imagine Danny Trejo voicing her.
I profusely apologize for any of these technical difficulties that come back and forth through all this.
I usually don't say racist things. That's basically never.
It's been a fantastic stream.
Wait.
We'll just.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for pulling back some of the covers, the little wool over your eyes, and bringing it back and making you see a little bit of reality in all of this. What did you think about Phil's answer to that clip?
Who's texting? Brian?
So nothing
I think he could, Irie, especially if you tell him about Phil.
Nothing he said justified making that
here,
joke.
Research this dude for a little bit.
Because
he'll come into recording wearing his vest.
As a streamer, as a public figure.
Which vest is cut you best?
You have to know when the time and place when something like that is not appropriate. He should have known that. This is his job.
Exactly. I can't say racist things at my job.
Where he
even
just
if I
made
wanted
this
to.
Joke to his friend that's sitting next to him on a couch. the internet's not watching. No, the internet's fucking watching. They're watching your every move.
Wish Brian would bring up the slave trade bit on stream.
He should know
I think
better.
Brian's gone forever.
That
I
is
believe.
certain things you just don't say. Under any circumstances, whether he was being recorded or not, like as a
I
decent
think Neil, he was
person,
very proud of himself for not having a
that's
poop
just
joke
not
for
a
once.
joke you make. And whether you were role playing that character or not, I feel like in that particular situation, I'm going to be on the side where no, I'm not going to role play this character that's being proposed to.
And also, there's just the factor of if you wanted to role play as this corrupt sheriff dude, why did it have to go that intense? You know, why did you have to go maximum full blast mega toxic comments? Because this is something that came up multiple times on that show that inspired DSP, Mystery Science Theater. They had tons of movies that featured some corrupt asshole who was a complete piece of crap and, you know, was killing people or trying to get people killed. And at no point did they ever have that character make jokes about human trafficking or slave trades. They would make other jokes. They would make more benign jokes like, oh, after he's done killing this guy, he's going to go back to, robbing lemonade stands or something. You know, it doesn't have to be the full blast, mega deathly toxic comment, you know. But for Phil, it is. For Phil, it's always one or the other. He lives a very binary way of life. If I'm not allowed to say anything, that I'm ultra persecuted. It's like, no, you can say stuff, but you got to understand that people aren't going to be happy about it.
To me, as a absolute scumbag, because it's not funny. This dude's potentially trafficking kids.
Okay, Drew.
Why
would
would
see
I
those
want
moments?
to role play this character, especially if it wasn't something that he had been consistently doing throughout that entire playthrough, which doesn't excuse it. But let's say, for example, he was
Yeah, there you go, Irie.
this entire thing. Why would you choose that fucking character is beyond me. But okay, that's what you chose to do. That's your humor. Your audience forgave you for it. Fair enough. He should have never, ever made that joke. And what's his name? The guy with the beanie, Adam?
Yeah,
Adam.
that's Adam Krigler. He used to be
Adam?
associated with Tim Pool.
Huh?
Yeah, Adam should not. Adam did a really good job
Let's
on
go,
not
Game Master.
pulling his punches
Yes.
with those questions.
Yeah, Adam
So
really
yeah,
held up
seriously,
that.
he was the hero. I agree.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
agree.
Adam
He
wins over
was
another
the
one.
Hero. He was Chatham. He was whatever you wanted. He cast a lot of doubt as just an average person who was talking to Phil. And
Adam's
didn't
got the
watch
world
Phil's content,
toxification
who hasn't
record.
Watched it, who barely talked to detractors. I tried to reach out to him just so he had a crash course on what he was dealing with, but he never got back to me. And he
Yeah,
kind of
and-
went into it
Right.
blind.
From what I understand, I believe there's some context that came out of this as to why Adam never responded to any of the stuff that people sent him about Darkseid Phil, which in retrospect was kind of a cool idea on his part. I will give him a pass on this, is that Adam and Craig were basically a scientific study in a way. Craig was the dude who got all the information from the detractors, whereas Adam was the control group and didn't get any information from the detractors. And it's pretty impressive to see that the control group got toxified first.
And he saw that clip, and you got his raw take from it.
I don't want to see it, you know.
And so that's a pretty embarrassing answer from Phil. And this does continue to happen to this day. I mean,
Nothing he said justified his actions.
Rybar, I don't
Not-
really know.
not-
People
not a
differ on their
word.
approach with it. I can't really speak for everyone.
does this sour your mood more towards Phil?
Oh, 100% it does. And so I'm going to go off for a little bit here.
Yeah, let's go.
So baby man gaming, you're forever associated with this maniac. First of all, I am in control of my own fucking life.
Yes, I
I
released
am
man. It
not
worked out really
forever
well.
associated with Phil. I'm never going to be forever associated with Phil. I shape my own destiny. I'm doing it right fucking now,
Yeah.
which is why
Yeah.
I'm on this show talking.
What is
to
DSP's
agents.
political take? I do have
Had
some politics
Phil-
regarding DSP. I feel
Had
like there
Phil
should be a
had
law
any
against
control,
Phil.
or what do the people
That's a
call
policy.
it?
Make it
Pignosis,
happen.
right?
Yeah.
Had he had any of that shit going
Oh,
against
God,
me,
you know, please.
I wouldn't be sitting here having a conversation with Agent. So do me a favor, before you make judgments on who I am as a man and my character, get to know me first, because you don't know me.
Yeah, that sounded deep. I like that.
That-
Beggars will be
well said.
prosecuted.
I mean, I feel you.
Apparently,
as a
I'm being
grown man, there's certain
oppressed.
things you can't say that you should bite your tongue about, and if it's part of your business, you got to learn to shut the fuck up, and that's just a grown man trait. And you've seen it time and time again. The steak rant, the different rants about him not getting paid enough, the other
Scoring clip?
rant about him telling somebody to eat shit with a spoon out of his ass. I'm sure you caught that rant recently.
That's a good
too.
one. Brian, come on, you gotta watch it.
I'd seen
play
that
it.
and I saw
Come
the
on.
variation. The variation of it was like a song.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool
Nice,
songs
he's
and Detractor
toxified
songs
with
out
the
there.
music.
I got one to end the stream on just because it's my favorite one, and it involves a bear.
that could very well be Heinz.
But
I can see that.
do you see
The
yourself?
thing is, so somebody, sorry to cut you off.
No,
brother.
go for it.
I probably shouldn't be reading your chat so much, but I can't help it.
Oh no, read away. They're all good dudes out
the
there.
streamer. This is the streamer in me. This is the streamer in me. So it's
Don't listen to those toxic individuals. You got to learn from Phil.
asked me to play a game with him. All right.
Okay.
That didn't mean I was going to be like on his streams forever or constantly coming around, because I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, the people who I've talked to the most
Who?
since this whole thing has come about,
Toxic people.
it's been the quote unquote detractors.
Oh no.
Are you guys talking?
You didn't
me
talk to
because
Derich?
You want to see me?
You should've
troll
talked to
Phil?
Jade.
You want to see me go off on Phil? Not really. I don't think that's what you guys want.
Have we?
No,
y'all
honestly,
have
this is
been
pretty juicy like
who
this,
y'all
really.
are. Y'all have not harassed me. Y'all have not called me names. I have.
Yeah, I've
like,
seen it,
maybe
Wilson.
one or
It's
two
really
people
funny.
Who's like, oh, this dude's
But also
fucking
kinda
cringe.
sad.
I was over in King's, what's the name? King Slice.
Oh, you
In
were on
his chat
Spice
the
Nation?
other day,
Okay.
and somebody, yeah, I was over there to, shooting the shit with him.
Yeah.
And somebody called me a fence sitter. And that's fine. You can have your opinion, but you can hear it from the horse's mouth.
Where Cat?
I
Oh
only
man,
choose
this
the
interview is gonna
side
get really
that
cool.
makes the most
Cat
sense.
shows up.
And if neither side makes no fucking sense,
I mean, this whole interview
I'm
has
not
been
going to choose a
badass.
side.
It would have been more
With that being
badass if
said,
Cat had showed up.
Everything
You guys want to learn about Bill?
the detractors have presented to me has made perfect sense. I have talked to over 25 plus detractors.
Damn.
You know how many Phil fans I've talked to?
How many?
Take a wild guess.
None.
Jade.
No, nobody
Zero.
coming chirping at you. No, not even K Styles, my man.
K Styles?
Called me
Oh,
a
come on,
basic
K Styles is the
dwelling
greatest. He
troll
posts the
other
same
day
GIF
that
over and
has
over.
No job and no
So
life.
has he didn't really say much to me. So
Yeah, it's true,
and
Soldier.
this
That's
is
going to
my
be his
point.
narrative for sure.
You got all these people coming forward to tell me all of this shit. Videos like this, videos like this, different information about Derich,
It's
the side
Derich,
scrollers
please.
information. All of this stuff is provable through video, text, whatever, right? Not one of his fans came through to basically defend their streamer.
So I don't know what the response is going to be to this, but Brian, if you're listening, if ever point you listen, I can tell you the reason why that doesn't happen. You would think the most obvious reason would be because they're just too, they don't exist. The DSP doesn't have any fans. No, he does have fans. But the thing is that DSP has cultivated a cult-like mentality. There's a pun there. He cultivated the cult-like mentality in making sure that these dudes never leave the compound. He's made it very clear to them over and over again. Do not engage with the trolls. Do not talk to the trolls. Do not look at their content. Do not put yourself in their sort of environment. And he didn't do that to protect them. That's not what it's about. The walls of the compound aren't there to protect you. They're there to keep you in. Because as soon as one of these individuals comes and actually talks to the detractors and actually listens to the detractors, they're going to get swayed to their side. There you go, like Rick, I beat you to it. They're going to get swayed to the detractor side. As what has basically kind of happened with Brian, but Brian's not really fully there in that category. So that's why none of DSP's fans went and talked to Brian, because they've been told not to. They've been told not to talk to people, not to engage with anyone. They're still on the compound. You have to go into the compound and talk to them, Brian.
Damn.
So for me,
Exactly,
that's
Cadence.
a problem.
And that's DSP's
Not
fault.
even
It's
one of
like,
his
why-
whales, huh? Not even somebody like Ryan
No,
or anybody
I-
like that who's got to feel his back.
It's used to happen.
No,
Teo
So
tried
so
to.
so it's like you look at it, and again, I maybe I
Well, I had that
overlooked
dude
it,
come into my
but
chat that
I
one
feel
time
like
and
I
defend
didn't.
DSP.
Where are all these people to show me the good in this guy
Exactly, DSP.
versus the
Auschwitz
people that are quote
contribution.
unquote showing me the real him, right?
Oh man,
There's two
see if you
sides
can
to
talk
every
about
story,
Holocaust.
usually, right? Is
Well,
it
it's a
not?
good pun. The contribution
That's why I
camp
asked
is
you
pretty
here.
funny.
One has to, right. And I've always had this opinion about the detractors. Literally always.
Exactly.
That you
Art
guys
Priest.
were misunderstood. A lot of you were people who literally just wanted to call him out on this bullshit, which goes back to what I said.
He's always
When
been
you asked me the
toxified.
question about if friends in his life would benefit him.
Exactly like Becky.
Yes. Because had he had friends in his life, his friends would have been saying the same shit the quote unquote detractors say.
Absolutely.
The shit that quote unquote I say, which this whole meeting with you tonight,
Yeah.
do you think I told him I was doing this?
No, but I know
You should have. It would have been really funny.
No.
And ran it down.
I did tell
you
him I
did?
was fucking doing it.
Oh, he did?
Damn.
Oh, man.
I did tell him I was doing it because that's who I am.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
I'm upfront
That's cool as
about
hell.
every
Okay, that's pretty cool,
fucking
Brian.
thing
I'm
I
going to
do.
go talk to a detractor, Phil, and you
Look at that
can't do
big
anything
ass
about
I
it.
told him straight up.
Okay,
I
well,
told him straight
let me
up.
know
I
if you
was
want
like,
to play
I
more
am
Street
doing
Fighter.
a sit down with Agent Proper. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk about this, and that. The stream is mainly going to be about me.
Here's a
what,
link,
what
Phil.
people wanna
Come and
see,
watch.
What the hell am I even doing on YouTube again? Or
Okay.
interacting with Phil, right?
Yeah.
He didn't respond. So
Yeah, of course
whatever.
not. He has no response to
I
that.
think
That's
you might
not
get
why
a
I sent the
response at some
message.
time. And
What's he
might
gonna
not
do,
be
shit on you?
And that's perfectly
beneficial.
that's perfectly fine.
Oh, God, like a
That's
Becky.
perfectly fine. But here's the
2010
thing.
wasn't so long ago, guys.
If somebody is so willing to get rid of a person that is willing to tell them when they shit stinks, that can potentially better their life, their community, their business, their potential.
Brian, you're making way
money-making,
too much sense right now.
Then my friend, I don't think I was your friend at all.
Oh, that's a beautiful quote.
All right.
My friend, I don't think I was your
Because
friend at all. That's
friends
good. I like that. I'm going to steal
Do
that.
that to each other. They keep it real. They tell you when you're being a
I guess we're
shithead.
gonna
They
have
tell
to
you when
do
you're being
gameplay with
smart, when you're
Kekken
being
now.
Stupid when you're dating a girl that's not good for you. That friend, that real friend, is going to fucking tell you the truth.
It depends on their friendship, though.
A person
I have a
who
bunch
wants
of
to
friends
see
tell
you
me that
fail,
Battlefield Earth isn't a good movie. I
who
get rid of
wants
those
to hide
dudes. Get them out of here.
things, is going to not say anything. He would have found this shit out from one of his lurking fucking fans that's probably in your chat right now.
Oh, shit, he found me.
That didn't message me the stuff that would make him look better in the light.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be a really
He
short
would have
video.
found out from one of them. But no, he found out from the fucking horse because I told it to him.
Do
before
you know
we
about the
even
horse
went
meme? You
live.
have to stop,
I told
Brian.
it to him 12 hours ago.
Damn. And he ghosted you on it. Said nothing.
Yeah, pretty much like Reggie.
Basically.
Okay.
But again,
That's well said, Heinz.
if you wanna ghost a friend that is that honest, that is actually potentially could be the thing you needed in your life to help you turn this shit around for you, then I can't help you. It is what it is.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you. Do you think Bill needs to get a job at this point?
I would like
like
to
a real-
say.
This isn't that's so
Away from streaming, do you think it'd be more beneficial for him to work a part-time job?
I
at
think
this
that
point,
DSP
have
would do
real-world
with some
interaction
therapy
with
that came
actual
from
people,
vocational
and then to go home and
work.
stream at night?
Anything, man.
it would be more beneficial to him only not financially.
Phil is my new role
It
model.
would
I'm sorry,
be
man.
beneficial
That
to
sucks,
his
buddy.
mind and actually going out and being social and learning how to talk
Holy
to
shit,
people.
only ice bleach. I'm gonna try that
way,
sometime.
when he talks to people on the internet, it's not awkward. when people say shit to him, it's not awkward.
Do you feel like he was awkward with you during your last few co-op streams?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that doesn't take any hesitation to say
and
that.
And again, this is not, none of this is me throwing shade. I can only react to the things that I observe. And
but it's weird that Brian says, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not asking him the question, but it was the same way back at Apex Legends. Apex Legends, DSP, he did a little bit more talking back then with them, but still, it was mostly Brian and Kekken talking to each other, and DSP would intersperse a goat laugh here and there. Dude was a third wheel on his own stream.
Considering I was the other party present, I even noticed when it did.
Yeah, Far Priest, it's a little goofy.
Why? I'm a streamer as well.
He's looking at it from a
it's my job to
compassionate
provide
perspective, really.
a entertaining
More compassion than
stream
DSP deserves
for the public that is watching me go live.
Someone help me.
Whether
Oh, God.
I don't give a damn if it's one viewer, if it's one person watching me, that motherfucker watching me is going to have the best time. So as long as I'm live.
Hey, that's a good mentality.
So
Phil took the
with
day
that
off
being
yesterday because the
said,
Elden Ring came out a few
I
hours ago.
keep saying that.
There's
right?
your
That's
answer
okay.
right there.
It's
Day off.
Shout outs to the
But
podcast. I know those boys want to get you on sooner or later, especially if there's any
But,
fallout from Phil. They want you on. They want to talk to you. If
I want to have you on Going Green, Brian. What?
interview
What?
tonight
This is how you don't
or
play.
any
Do you want to
other
watch?
talk, They want you on. I'll tell you that 100% right now. So big shout out to the boys. Big shout out to Meerkat.
I've seen so many different critiques on that stream that we did that it was awkward. Blah blah
Funny
blah
Phil
blah.
insults
Right?
people
You're
mental health
And
based one
I
having problems.
agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
It's
It
ironic.
was awkward. As a streamer trying to communicate with him, how did you think I feel? Wow, like when I make
It was
fun
rough.
of the chats that
You're
you
absolutely
guys
right,
would
Heinz.
send me.
DSP has made me a
And,
very
you know,
positive
I
person.
shouldn't have to tell somebody who's been streaming longer than me when you're supposed to just go with the fucking joke.
Say that again. That's a
Fun
great quote.
of the chats that you guys would send me. And you know, I shouldn't have to tell somebody who's been streaming longer than me when you're supposed to just go with the fucking joke.
Well said, man.
I've had a fantastic time despite our technical issues. It's been very enlightening. I've never been able to talk to somebody who's been able to articulate their words.
Yeah, Brian is very
and
well spoken. I'll give him
kind of
that.
Precisely speak
He's
as a grown
very-
man towards.
he's very
Phil and
clear
his
in what he has to
action as
say.
Somebody who's interacted with him on a personal level. It doesn't happen for us.
But yeah, Heinz, I feel like I
It's
don't
interesting
complain
to
and
get
whine as
your
much
take
because
on
of
it,
Dark Side Phil.
to get
I used to
your
be a bit of a
view as
complainer. I used to
somebody
be a
who's
whiner. But
streaming
then
as
when
a
I
hobby,
saw
would
someone
love to
else
do
do
as a
it with
job.
his intensity, I don't want to do it at
I
all.
respect your hustle a lot, and I think a lot of these other detractors respect you for doing what you're doing tonight, because you're being a grown.
Oh yeah, I
man.
respect you,
You're
Brian.
coming to me one-on-one.
I don't necessarily fully
You
agree with a
feel
lot
that
of your
you're doing it
stances on
too.
stuff. I
So you're
still
not
feel like
hiding
some of it's
shit
still
from anybody.
fence-sitting.
You're,
But
you're coming out here and speaking your truth, and I really
I wonder how
respect
long
you
it'll
for
take
doing
Phil
that.
to shit mouth him. It's only a matter of time.
So if you'd like to start up a stream,
He's
and
gonna
wanna
get
do
drunk on a
version of
Minecraft
the
stream and start shitting on
couple
Brian.
Last 30 minutes of this conversation, more power to you. Feel free to bring it up. Like,
So I will say this, just so we get everything out, all the questions you had
Just
Yeah.
get
listed.
into it. You look less stupid. Exactly.
I know I gave you like
be
an
part of the
hour
meme,
time
dude.
frame,
I'm doing the Tybo.
but
Feel it.
I'm here until you get everything you wanted out. So
you've
don't-
answered.
if we got to start over again, that's perfectly fine with me.
I think you've answered majority of the questions that I've had
Okay.
for you. I know. Chad has
time
had
for
a couple
viewer
ones,
questions.
they
I got
wanted
a
to know if
question.
you've talked to
Brian.
any of the Connecticut crew.
What's my question?
a
Shit.
long
I just
time
wanted to
ago,
raise
you
my
were in
hand.
Connecticut crew.
Yeah, that John Rambo presents. I way back in the day.
Oh my god, dude,
Oh,
Midnight Skull.
dude, I fucking miss John so much, man. All right, so let me talk about John. for a
oh, I'm
minute.
so glad this
John
happened.
was somebody who I wish was still in my life
Yeah,
because he presented me with an opportunity
exactly.
when
Game
the
Master.
internet, basically this whole YouTuber thing was relatively new to me. I was still playing football, and I was
Whoa, is that nearly as
trying to
athletic
get
as going to the
myself
mailbox?
into starting training for professional wrestling was my original dream.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, that's why DSP likes this guy.
At that point, best shape of my life. he put something
Yes,
out.
Sonic, he
I
has.
don't know where he put it. It was random as hell. But he said he was on Twitter. He said he was looking for somebody to be a supervillain in Snozman and Hole Punch. So I'm like, what the hell? I've been doing extra roles and stuff like that for random movies. Why
he's
not?
in that?
Throw it
All right, I
out
need to
there,
go
see
rewatch
what's
it
up.
then.
I put it out there. John emailed me back in like an hour. After,
What?
like I sent him a picture.
Doesn't he have a schedule like
I sent him
Phil?
a picture and you know the idea I had for a character. I had already had this character created it's called Midnight. So I had the costume already because the
Okay,
character
I guess
was
I gotta
supposed to
rewatch
be
that
for
now.
another
Damn.
internet show that I was going to be on.
Okay.
But that show unfortunately never got off the ground. So I'm like, hey,
Exactly,
boom,
Soldier. Don't make me
let's
ban
pitch
you.
it to John. John absolutely loved it. So he
Can we
flew.
watch your fight scene?
I went out.
Oh,
If you
cut to
want, sure.
All right.
You know where it is.
oh
I
man,
have it
Prophet,
lined
thank
up.
you so much.
Yes.
Please carry
Yep.
on with how this all went down with John.
Well,
Rambo.
Sonic, I kind of stopped watching it about
Oh,
halfway
yeah.
through the first episode. I was like, this is kind of lame.
So Brian is a nerd. Aren't we all nerds, bro?
Yeah,
I'm not a nerd. I don't have anything to do with Warhammer.
John was the best, man. Like I
Yeah,
wanted to
is.
give him back the money he paid for me to come over there. He refused.
What?
He said, "No, you're my."
You
you're
tried to
my
do a
guest.
chargeback.
You're my guest.
And he said, keep the money? That's the
he's
opposite of how it goes
you're
with Phil.
letting me use your character for my show. You came all the way out here. Boom. And no, I wasn't paid, but he paid for my trip.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And the payment for me was meeting 3 guys that were really, really cool to be around. And at that point, I had done John Rambo Presents the show a few times with them after that. Because at that point, these were growing to
This
be
is
my
cool
friends.
info. I didn't know
And
all
through
this.
John, I met Phil.
Oh, I'm sorry about
Unfortunately,
that.
over the years, John fell out of love with the internet. A lot of issues that he was going through on his personal level. A lot of issues he had with Phil, some of which he did ask me how I would feel about it, etc.
Ooh,
And
that's cool.
I would probably still be in touch.
Oh my god, I need some sort of timeline for this stuff. There's these really cool websites that can make interactive timelines. I know it because I used one on a school project once. And it'd be really cool to have one of these for Darkside Phil. And that, you get to scroll left and right on the timeline, back and forth on the X and Y axis. But you've got multiple different colors of lines to indicate when certain people entered the story and when they didn't, or however you want to label it. It would be really cool to have one of those for Darkside Phil, especially right here, because I didn't realize Brian had this much connection to John Rambo. People told me that he knew him and whatnot. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I didn't realize this. And it'd be kind of cool to see where Brian came into the timeline and when John left and just have it be visualized. I think it'd be pretty interesting to see that.
Touch with John had my phone
when
that had
Anna
his
Lee
number
leaves
in
and all
it
this and that.
not gotten stolen from me.
If
Unfortunately, my Google contacts weren't transferred.
Oh,
so
man.
I had lost John's number completely. And at that point, John had wiped himself away from the internet.
Yeah.
So I had no way to contact John
That's
anymore.
sad. That's sad as shit, man.
And that was rough for me.
No, for real. I've had that
when,
happen with
uh,
people that I've known. That
when
sucks.
I was used to talking to him at least a few times a week, and we would just shoot the shit about the most random shit ever. And I missed the dude, but I couldn't really.
I would start
talk
from the
to
birth
him anymore.
Actually, Sniper Lacement, I'd go further back. I'd try and get the Dave and Linda's lives into it if we could.
I was heavily focused on just
They're
building
the
my
prequels.
career, and here we are now. I heard he's doing well for himself, which I'm very happy to hear about.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah, he's been
Each
winning
clone
some
reveals a
awards
retcon
for his
timeline. Oh, shit, so
films
there's
with,
like
him
15
and
trillion
Undertown,
timelines now.
OJ. They've been directing
Yes,
some
they
short
both
films and
deserve
stuff.
it.
If I can
Really good
flex
guys,
some
man.
detractor powers and maybe reach out to some people, maybe somebody like June the King, who just wrote a documentary on Phil.
Yeah, for real. This is beautiful. Those kind of like moments right here. If that happens, that's up there with the beautiful moments of the internet that really resonate with humanity. That'd be really cool if you could get John's number again and just be able to talk to him again. A moment that it kind of reminds me of is in Super Best Friends. Wooly was talking about how he had this purple Game Boy, and I had the same kind of Game Boy. I had a purple one. It was Game Boy Color, and it got stolen. And he mentioned a couple times how much he wishes he could, find his Game Boy again or whatever. And he also said, like, I don't really need it, but it'd just be kind of cool to have. Dude, a fan sent him a brand new in-box Game Boy Color that was purple. And he damn near started crying on videos. Like, those kind of beautiful things that people do for each other on the internet. It's wonderful. Too bad DSP. No, he did do that. He sent people empty game boxes, and they nearly started crying.
Maybe he's got some contact information. I can try to get a hold of that and forward it to you. Maybe I can hook you up, and maybe you can just drop.
If I had the number, for sure I'd post it for him.
He was
not post it in the chat.
He
That seems
fell,
kind of disrespectful.
to some of Phil's antics. Like, he lost his job with GameStop way back in the day. He made a video about that. Him and Howard made a stream about their falling out with Phil.
Yeah.
Have you watched that, Brian?
Did you ever meet Panda Lee or anybody else close to Phil? Any of his family members?
I never met. No.
Damn.
Okay.
No, I met
Brian, you let me
people
down.
that
Never
were
mind. I hate you
closer to
forever.
OJ and John than Phil people.
Okay.
Like Phil came a little later, and that only happened because of John. Had it not been for John, me and Phil would have never had an internet meeting.
Man, a lot of stuff for DSP was because of John.
Would you like to
So
get in
there's another
contact with
one.
John and try to mend some fences.
I'm thinking so,
and get back in
Bracky.
and
Calling it quits.
Maybe be an extra in one of his films down the road.
So for me, getting in contact with John would be strictly just to say, yo, I remember when you was on the internet making Snozman and Hole Punch.
You want to play Street Fighter?
The creative process you went through. I remember the sacrifices you made. I remember the risk you took on bringing a random dude from Philly that you never even knew to be a character in your show.
Man,
I just want to tell a dude.
See, this guy has some respect for people. That's a beautiful thing to hear. Yeah, I get so tired of hearing DSP being a shithead.
Was to say, hey, I want to bring you in on something. Sure, I'll do it. Absolutely. But
yeah, you don't want to invite
I
yourself
want to
in.
make
That's kind of
it a
disrespectful.
point that my reason for only wanting to talk to John again, because he's in a different chapter of his life. I'm not in it.
Dude, I get you on that.
I just want to tell the man I'm proud of him. That's it. And that I never forgot what he did for me.
And this is beautiful.
Because
about to have me crying, Brian.
He was struggling back then. I was struggling too. I had just lost my job.
Exactly.
Just like he did. And
John represented what DSP wishes he was.
Trying to get down there. He made sure I didn't suffer from that. They fed me. They treated me like a king, man. And again, I will never forget that.
Well, did you get a free controller like Air Raid Lord?
So, yeah.
I didn't think so.
Sounds like you're a real dude. I think a lot of chat.
Yes, Zambi, I am.
That you're just
damn,
a guy
that shit
out
got
there
me tearing the fuck up, man.
Dude,
hold on, bro.
It's rough.
Yeah, Heinz. There's very limited cases where I'd be stoked about that. Like if it was, the limited edition Japanese version that had all this extra art when I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. No game, that's fine.
To elevate you further.
But
I mean,
DSP's Dave's
Xbox.
Xbox, no, I'm not interested. I don't think anyone would be interested.
We're not about gatekeeping. We're not about doing any of that kind of stuff. Sure, there's some people who get sent away or, shit on for their different poor takes of their own personal doings, but a lot of us end up trying to just be real motherfuckers with other detractors.
Yeah,
and
I try to be cool with all the other detractors. I've got no real reason to dislike these guys.
We all have 9-to-5 jobs.
We do have some characters that should be
and I really, really do appreciate you
looked upon more critically.
It's nice to get that confirmation that John's a real one, just
mostly
like
me.
He is.
Chat's blowing up.
OJ too, and Howard's a great guy too.
Howard, no.
Howard's
an asshole.
I saw him the other day go live, like last week. Maybe you should drop by one of his YouTube streams. Yeah, he would probably have contact info for John.
I should.
Big ups to Howie, because he was telling it real.
That's here's where I don't think that's going to work. I hope it does. I hope I'm wrong, but Howard just doesn't really stream that often. Prior to this last time that he streamed maybe 7 months ago before that. And it was very, very brief Monster Hunter stream. And he did not talk to chat at all. In fact, he just didn't have a mic on. So I don't know how much help that's going to be. Now, maybe you could get like his email information from his.
That'd be cool.
I don't
I
know.
would love to get you guys reconnected somehow, and I'll do my best.
You know what?
To make
So
it happen.
I will.
It shows how terrible a person
I will
actually is.
drop
Because
some more lore for you
He
guys.
couldn't deal with Phil anymore.
So there was
Rambo was much more of a
there was a
friend
time
than DSP ever deserved. Ever.
when I was doing a podcast like a while ago, and Phil wanted to come on and talk about his situation that he
Masturbation?
did, right?
The jerking it?
So I did it, but somebody had during that podcast,
What?
somebody had asked a question about John and Phil went into it during that podcast.
Wait, what?
That podcast no longer exists. I'm sure it's probably like a
Oh,
clip
people are gonna find
randomly
this
somewhere about Phil trying to explain what the hell he was masturbating to during that little incident, right?
Tell us in case we can't find it.
Yeah, we all know about that.
The rest of that show is gone, and
No.
I'm going to be the first one to tell you why it was gone. It was gone because of John. I deleted it out of respect for John because he felt some type of way about some of the things that Phil had said on that show in regards to their relationship and, you know, him reading out text or some shit like that. I really can't remember. But that show, I deleted it immediately, and it had a good amount of views on it. My YouTube was getting so much more attention.
This is kind of frustrating for me because it's the paradox of being in the detractor verse for so long is I'm not really sure how to make of people who have a lot of character and dignity and have a lot of respect for people. My first thought when I just heard all that revelation is, dude, you got to find the clip. I'm sure you got it on a hard drive or something. You got to upload it, dude. It's super important that we all see what DSP was talking about. And, you know, and then he says, well, I deleted it out of respect for John. Damn it. Stop being decent people, all of you. Just for 1 second. Be interested in the DSP content.
But
Damn.
That wasn't worth betraying a friend.
Exactly, Lay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I believe one of the detractors, Mr. Stuff, has it. Actually,
Really?
Your whole thing. Now, the other piece of content I was asked to try to get from you
Okay, I need to
was
find this
a
clip.
Mortal Kombat review that Phil was part of. Do you remember
Mortal
that at all?
Kombat review?
Yeah, it
what?
was back in the day. I think my guy and Leet over there in chat was hunting down for it. He asked me specifically for it. I guess Phil had some kind of a take with you talking about Mortal Kombat at some point in time.
Well, I don't remember any of
Probably
that.
Mortal Kombat X, I'm going to say.
Wow,
said-
this is
it
new
was
lore
a
to
few
me.
years ago. Maybe Ann can chirp up in chat and let us know what that was about. But
What?
I believe
He's
that,
watching a hot blonde dude. Well,
Is
there
there
you
a
go.
clip of it or anything like that?
not that I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
I haven't. You might have a clip somewhere.
Yeah, I've
I don't
never even
know.
heard of this
Maybe
ever.
he does go into ether.
I definitely know.
Yeah,
I
how is
know.
DSP
Yeah,
gonna
it
have
says it's
lost
in
media?
chaos.
That's
It's in
crazy to
chaos.
me.
Trying to elevate it. But yeah, I guess he wanted to see some of those takes from Phil and go over some of that stuff. But
Yeah, you'll have to refresh me because I have no idea what it was.
yeah, well, maybe Ann can reach out to you and try to
What the hell's
DM and drop you
Oni-chan
a
there
note.
saying?
I got the biggest
Okay.
question for you though to start wrapping up the show before
Okay.
we have any other mishaps. What did you have for dinner tonight?
Okay.
That was
Believe it or
good.
not, I had a BLT.
Oh, that
Turkey
was
bacon
fun.
Specifically.
That was
Turkey
good.
bacon.
Well
Do you have
done.
gout?
Because hell no, I'm too athletic for that bullshit. Come on, bro. What?
Ah.
Come on.
I had to ask. Nice turkey bacon BLT.
That was good,
Nice.
Agent Proper.
Good-
Very
Come
funny.
on, man. I gotta stay healthy. I gotta
Okay.
keep my peanut butter complexion intact.
Oh,
You heard?
I
haven't had a
you gotta
BLT
keep that look
years.
crispy.
Should make me one.
I did see a highlighted question in your chat.
We're back
What?
up.
The baby man actually DDoSing you right now?
Oh, because are you just being mean to baby man, Jamie?
Yeah, just ban Baby Man Gaming.
Because
No,
apparently there was a
I was
highlight.
gonna-
Webby,
I was
fucking
gonna-
leave.
I was going to answer his question. Yeah, I was going to answer the question. Yeah, so anyway,
What?
he asked me, I think he said thoughts on Phil reading John's private
Oh, that's the
text.
question. Okay, yeah, I
that's
saw that
something
earlier.
You should never do. That's something you should never do. It's basically it's a violation of trust.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that's what John felt. He felt like his trust.
It was very
violated.
betraying. And
Yeah, that's
the other part of it, though, isn't just that he was reading the text, but essentially he just shit on John's whole philosophy, basically. You know, for anyone who hadn't gone and seen the clip of him reading off the text messages, after he's done reading them, he basically says, well, I guess John just wasn't having a successful time with YouTube. He wasn't getting views. He wasn't getting the attention he wanted. He wasn't being successful how he wanted. And he's just decided to be done. Well, man, that is extremely negative to say to people or say about people. But DSP had no problems with that. And it wasn't like he was a young dude. All of these things with DSP, they seem like something you'd expect from a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old to say about his friends. This guy was in his late 20s doing this to his friends. Just shitting on them. And it was really, really disrespectful because John always made it very clear that he was not about those things. He did not care about the money and the views. He cared about the artistic expression. So for DSP to just say that showed that he never, not once, ever listened to what John's philosophy was. Never. Otherwise, it would have never occurred to him to say that because that wouldn't be important to him. Man.
that's got to be rough.
The fact that John
Like,
kept
whenever
talking to him
anybody
after that
comes
is
in there,
wild
you
to me.
feel
I never
like
would have
that's
spoken to him
the reason,
again.
Like people asked me to see if you could reveal some DMs or show us some behind the scenes conversations with Phil. I haven't asked you about that because really that's none of my business. That's between
Thank you,
and
baby
everybody
man.
else.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's a solid question. That's for sure.
I guess John
But,
just lost his mind. Yeah,
like,
he went toxified, man.
It's just one of those lines.
wait,
where
another cat. Hold up the cat.
Try not to really reveal any DMs with anybody of the people I talk to. It's just out of courtesy and respect for another person. But I always keep them in pocket just in
shit,
case
that's
if somebody wants to.
I feel y'all people like Brian do it cause they built up big fortified social rules. And that's where personalities differ and us humans aren't alike.
Well said, Sonic. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for the donation. Yeah, I think that my mentality of it, just to try and put my perspective on it, is that while I do have a lot of character in terms of like respect for things, for example, I'm not ever going to read my friend's text messages on stream unless they're super hilarious and I run it past him. But then I also have limits of my respect, not because I don't respect, but because I also follow this rule of, well, it would be really funny if this happened. And so Brian here, he doesn't have that. He doesn't think about, well, it could be kind of funny if I did this. And to that extent, I very much respect him because he has a lot more restraint than I do. Because I would probably post my DMs with DSP. Like, yeah, look at this dumbass. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. I would put that out there. But Brian has far more decency than that. I guess I respect him for that. But you think maybe we could like compromise and you could meet on my level just for a little bit? Just, a couple messages maybe? That's cool. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Right. No, like there are situations where like if somebody comes out to me and be a complete shithead and I want to just completely wreck them, then yeah, I might read your text because fuck you.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, never mind. Brian's back. Brian's back to winning me over.
Like I respect and I still, I still have respect for her, obviously. Those things are going to stay.
I mean, if
hidden.
Phil texts me a bunch of death threats, I'm going to show that on screen.
Do you have any plugs? Any streams coming up? Anything you want to?
Any wrestling shows?
Before we wrap this up?
That would, possibly the one who waits. That'd be really cool.
Not really, honestly, guys. Like if the only thing I can say is if you want to support me.
Exactly.
If you guys want to throw
boundaries are your
stuff
problem.
At me, I can't promise that I'll always react to it, but I'm
all right.
I'm
like a bracket. This is your time. Send him the scorn clip.
I'm willing to look at whatever you guys send. It just might not always be in the moment. Because like if I'm doing Street Fighter, it's probably just going to be
You're gonna have to
Street
wait till
Fighter,
I'm
you know
done
what
with my
I'm saying?
set.
Like I said, I like to run a very random stream. I don't like things to be so fucking in a box, if that makes
Oh,
any
you're
sense.
not a professional, I see.
So
Yeah, do
wanna
you also
come to the
schedule
stream
your
and have
streams
fun?
a
Come
week in
to the stream
advance?
and we'll have some fun. Just respect that it's top tier rated stream and not a dark side fill stream.
There you go.
All right?
Okay, that's kind of a decent boundary there.
Fair answer,
That's
Cat.
all I
Can we
that's all I
do
can
DSP
say. And
memes?
I do not expect you guys to do anything financially for me. Like
Tips
I'm the
would
streamer.
help more than anything, though.
I want to earn whatever it is you want to give me.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that
it's
could be
completely
something
different from
as
Phil.
simple
You just
as
give
you
it.
just watching me for 5 minutes, because all that shit goes a long way. So yeah, that's the most I
This
can
definitely
say.
makes sense how this dude was friends with John.
Do you
I don't want Brian to become a distractor.
my last question for you? Do you respect Phil after this? And will you respect him if he has any kind of a reply to this conversation you and I had?
Ooh, let's hear it.
So my respect for him has definitely went down
Hindsight's
a
really
ton
funny.
after seeing that clip with that little girl in the game or whatever he was playing.
I want to hear John's reaction to that clip. I mean, I don't imagine it'd be that different, but I would like to see what he could add to that discussion. I also would like to hear Howard's thought on the clip and Panda Lee's thoughts. I'm sure Panda Lee has nothing to say, really, because he doesn't care. But I feel like Howard would just start exploding.
That's very problematic for me. I don't like that. And again, as,
I think John
as a
would just shake his
responsible
head.
adult, you should know when you're supposed to draw that line. And that was
Let's see
a
if we can
line
send it
that
to
he
Dave.
should
What
have
does Dave
drawn
think? Oh, Dave loves it.
many
Damn.
times.
Okay, this was
And
not the response we
It wasn't a
wanted.
joke. It was a really, really stupid thing to say. You can't even say it was a joke.
Linda also loves it. Okay,
So,
everything's
yeah,
starting to
I
make
can
sense
say that
now.
my respect for him is severely dipped. The only way for that to be remedied is Phil would have to
Derich.
make a dramatic change
That's not going to happen.
in terms of how he treats his audience.
Not in a million
'Cause
years.
The whole taking shit out of context thing is a poor excuse, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a shitty excuse,
it's
buddy,
not-
because you can use that for anything.
You can't,
And if you can
Go
use an
off
excuse
on
for
your
anything, it means nothing.
because they were talking about steak. And there's no misunderstanding here when you respond with things like, oh, well, go to a food channel or some shit like that. Like, clearly we're talking about food here. There is no misunderstanding.
Yeah, the
You
context
should
is there,
not
bro.
ever talk to the people that are signing your paycheck that
Exactly,
way.
Master Beef. That shit's
Because
over.
guess what? If I go to work tomorrow and I said that to my boss, I'd be titling the stream, hey, 24-hour stream, just lost my job, guys.
You'd have your own
real funny
helicopter
because
story,
actually,
Brian.
Phil did that many years ago when he lost his job with his
He
helicopter.
did a 24-hour stream.
No,
He did a big old crying session. He
an
still does them to this day,
unemployment
Brian.
Madness is what he called it. You can search it up on his old channel.
Did he really?
Yeah, Dark Side Phil.
Yeah.
If you search it up, there's an unemployed madness where he sat there and bitched about losing his job and played Street Fighter 4 all day.
Mm.
I need to watch that clip at
And
some
it was
point.
it was wild. It was
Hold on, just a second, so I don't forget. I need to get that. Unemployed madness. DSP 5 trillion results. That's not good. Here it is. DSP Street Fighter. That's weird. All right, I'm gonna put it on there. Watch later. And there you go. Cool. What were you saying, Brian? I
wild.
apologize. I was being
That's
rude.
for sure. And that was kind of the first early
Employment
beginnings of,
Madness
like,
sounds
this
really
guy's
funny,
for
though.
real. Like,
That should be the name of my
something's
album.
up.
Yeah.
That should be the name of
Like I said,
DSP's
I've watched
album.
Phil for about 16 years since he kind of started on YouTube.
That was his weird experimental rap rock
Good
album.
Yeah, it's been one roller coaster that I'm waiting for it to end because there's been some big drops, some bigs up and down.
We're just
and
gonna have
quite
to
a
have
bit of
Kat have some
craziness.
sort of health
So,
crisis.
I know that we're gonna wrap it up here, and I know a lot of detractors want some matches with you. I know they want to play some matches on Street Fighter.
Annoyed and
6.
unemployed.
I've
That's
had a
good.
lot
That's a
of
good
fun.
lyric.
I was gonna set up an
Mhm.
online tournament in the future. Use my internet site, Gautopia.net, as a
Toxified.
forum to
I'm
allow
already a
people to
member
put
on
up
there.
brackets, to put up matches, to go ahead and host their content on. And I would like to.
I'm probably just going to lurk more than anything. I really don't have a whole lot to add.
Tournament.
Got all these
with
people adding all this
anybody.
lore
Just
stuff.
having
I just
people-
say, feels funny when you're high.
amateurs, you know, straight up scrubs. We'll have 3 different tiers for stuff like that to come in.
Dox yourselves to Proper.
enjoy,
Okay,
have,
cool.
Have some bants. Have
Well,
some,
maybe Proper will come over and hang out.
Kind of form, you know, shit talk, and then bring it back to where you guys can.
He does all of them, Kuro. He's not. He's a look. He's a variety singer. He also did Gregorian chants.
Or commentate over it.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Commentary is something when it comes to like fighting games. Funny story. So I was in a tournament, one of the few online ones I won for Street Fighter 6.
Does for real though. Anyone learns about Davis quickly.
The next one they did,
absolutely.
they said
anyone with any sort of
no
sense
master
reaches that
rank
conclusion.
players are allowed.
Damn.
What?
So I couldn't play in the next one.
Oh damn!
Because they wanted to give chances to the diamond ranks.
Okay,
and
that seems fair.
Ranks. So
it's kind of like, you know, the
anybody who
kids
was a
section
master,
of the pool.
They wanted to give a chance to. That tournament, I said, you know what? Can I do commentary? They was like, sure. Bro, that
did
was
you guys
some of the
or
most
Brian?
fun
Did you
I
know
had.
about DSP's fighting game commentary?
Yes.
So,
sign me up for that.
Perfect. I'll hit you up with that. I've got it
section.
rolling.
Oh god,
Hopefully won't
yeah,
have
kind
terrible
of.
internet issues. Maybe you can host it on your Twitch. Even I'd be down with that. It'd be super fun. Bring
Where's
your
the love for
friends.
Tekken?
I'll bring Detractor home.
Well, we got to get Kekken
Bring
in
up
here
Sirach
first.
Phil, who plays a tight cami game. A piece has been beaten Phil left and right.
PNF's
and
pretty good too.
Crapping on him and enjoying fighting games for what they are. It's really commendable to see people
I can't
come
play
out
Street
and
Fighter,
play
though.
games
I'm too
together
cool.
and enjoy games for what games are supposed to.
No Dead or Alive 6 tourney.
You know
Bullshit.
what?
Yeah, I agree.
So, Sequence said something that kind of jumped out to me a little bit.
Yeah, his
Sequence says,
commentary that he did on that
Master
one
doesn't mean
tournament was
shit
so
in Street
lame.
Fighter 6.
Wake up, Super World! Look at that!
I 100% agree with that.
Dude, chill,
And
bro.
It's not just Street Fighter 6 though. The quote unquote higher ranks of any fighting game, if I'm being honest here, doesn't mean anything if you literally haven't understood basically every aspect of what makes your character or what makes you.
There
a
you go,
master
Phil. Listen
of
very
that
carefully.
character. I didn't feel like I was a master rank Minot.
I still have stuff to learn with
until
Chips
I've
and If.
done maybe 4 locals already.
I still have stuff.
Because
I can't even do his
there
wall
were
run shit. I
things
can't
was
do
just
it. I don't know how to do it.
I wasn't hit confirming. I wasn't making people hurt.
I see
when
people
they
do
made
the
a
wall run
mistake. I
combos
wasn't
into
with
wall
punishing.
shatters. I can't do
But
any
I
of
was
that
in
crap.
master rank.
No
when I
ability.
was not doing any of this. So it's like, how could I be a
Who's there?
master if I don't even know what to do when I get a counter drive impact? So went back to
That's
the drawing
completely
board,
different from how
and I
DSP
stopped
sees
even
things.
thinking
Oh,
about
wow.
ranking points. That's why my thing is stuck at 15. Now
Only thing
I'm
Phil's
going to do
mastering
my
is
thing,
baiting.
and I'm going to try.
That works
to
on
get
a
up
couple
to
levels,
legend
actually.
where Snake Eyes and all of them are playing that because I want to
Yeah,
be able to
DSP
play
and
them on a
Ghost Jinx.
consistent
Hell
basis.
yes. I wonder
That's
if
my
Ghost Jinx
reasoning
is
for
going to
that.
chase his ass down in
That
Street
being
Fighter
said,
versus Capcom or versus Marvel Collection.
You're not going to ever be your ranking if you don't understand how your character is supposed to flow. That
You got me
means
there.
Your anti-airs, your corner setups, everything, your punishes. Master rank doesn't mean shit if you don't know any of those.
Heed these
So
words,
Don't
Philo.
let the rank fool you, because a diamond can know a lot more than a fucking master rank.
Absolutely. Dude, I've been
Because that
peed on
diamond
by
might
dudes
actually
less
go
ranked
to
than me.
locals, and a master rank doesn't. So throw that ranking shit out the window, bro. Just learn the game.
Just play the game, man. Play it for what it is
What?
and enjoy the
Kuro, that
experience.
bums me out.
Try to learn some matchups. Try to play some stuff. I like to play shooters too.
So
I get
DSP
it.
outlasted
So,
another one,
Yeah,
huh?
I'll definitely dial in some tournament stuff. I would love to host with you, talk with you, enjoy it, and get something.
This was a
running
good interview.
behind
This
the
was
scenes.
fun. I learned a lot today. I think the biggest
you have any
revelation was
plans
how
to
much
stream
this dude
tonight?
had a connection with John. I didn't realize it was that deep.
I was supposed to start my stream at 11.
Okay.
Okay.
This again, I'm not blaming you.
It is your fault, though.
Don't blame me.
So we went over our time a little bit. I will probably stream me speed running Elden Ring so I can get ready for the DLC that's about to come out.
Go.
and then I'm gonna take my ass to bed because I got work at 6 a.m.
Okay. You hear that, guys? Top tier rated on Twitch. He's over there. You can hit him up anytime he streams. You can go.
Is
talk
the
to
legend
him.
rank available yet? Yeah, I believe it
An
is.
actual true honest guy who wants to entertain.
Yeah, him and
you with
Rambo were
his
close
streams.
friends. Was sad hearing that
Big
Brian
ups.
just wanted to
Thank
say
you,
hello to
Brian,
him.
so
Yeah,
much
that
for being
damn
part
near
of
made
my
me cry,
disaster
man.
stream.
Because I mean, I've
I
had
really
friends that I
appreciate
drifted
it.
apart from, and it makes me sad. I always
think it
wonder
was
if they
very
think about me as
enlightening
much
for
as I think about
everybody,
them. And sometimes they
you're a
might not, and that's
fantastic
fine.
guest.
You know, maybe they got something cooler going on. That's I should celebrate
not
that,
to go
right?
to
But it
make
does
this
make me
go any
sad.
longer, but I like to make sure I answer questions that I've took note of answering already.
See, that's a good streamer. A
somebody
good
asked
streamer will
me
make
in
you
the chat,
connect with their
Do I plan on doing
with their experiences. Do you ever connect with
co-op streams
DSP's
with Phil in the
experiences?
future?
Never. I
as of now,
don't have my cart get stolen.
I'm going to do my own thing.
I don't have my grocery bags
Whether that means
robbed
I
from me.
continue to do things with my circle of friends that I normally play Street Fighter with, do it on my lonesome.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I think I
do
might
it
watch
with
him a
some
little bit when he's
people
playing
that-
the Elden
that are
Ring.
from the quote unquote detractor community.
Okay.
That's all the stuff I'm going to be doing, right? As far as Phil is concerned, I've learned too much about him that paint him in a light that I don't want to associate with until he's bettered himself and or made decisions that would make people like me
I did
more
nothing
comfortable
wrong. I did
being
everything
around
correct.
him.
Why am I toxic?
So that goes into some of the stuff I said in the past.
Consider
like
ending
if you
it
got all
all.
this risky business stuff dealing with somebody in your community, then you probably should get rid of them. That's
Exactly.
just me.
It's better to just cut him loose, man.
And no, the trolls didn't take me from DSP. Some of his actions and behaviors did.
It's pretty cool to see,
And
huh,
do I
Leo?
hate the guy? Not by any means. I don't hate him. I don't want to see the downfall of him. or
Right, little
anything
shadow.
like that.
He's done.
As far as I'm concerned, we're just two different people. He does things that I don't agree with, and I just can't
I'm just gonna die
be a part of that. And until he betters himself with how he treats his audience, how he does his streams, not making them so kind of a little too constricting for my taste, you know? Like we shouldn't have to do this overly scheduled lobby, right? You know, I get it. You want to advertise so people show up. I get that. But for me, it's too caged. It's a little too caged. Like sometimes, bro, you just gotta go. You gotta run the show.
Yes.
And if it comes down to the fact, like
100%. I feel like spontaneity is a thing that is extremely useful to have. Like some of my most fun streams I've ever done is when I just started doing goofy shit. You know, when I started playing those PlayStation 2 games, man, I had a lot of fun. Take out one game, put it in the next. I think DSP would have a heart attack if he witnessed that. He would say it's too chaotic, too confusing. You know, people don't know what you're going to be doing. They're going to be confused in chat. I don't know. I guess I just don't think my viewers are stupid, so I don't think that would happen. But yeah, Brian's got a very good sense for this, and it's true what he said earlier. He's like, I shouldn't be lecturing a person who's been doing this for so long, and that's exactly what's happening all the time with DSPs. Every single one of us who has criticized him, I would probably say we haven't been here as long as Phil. I would say that he's probably been doing this before we ever got started with him, which, I mean, I guess to some degree, you know, he started before people started watching him. But we all have better advice than DSP has. But he is stuck on this mentality that for some reason, because he's been doing this for 16 years, you can't have feedback for him. You can't. So this concept that you could do spontaneous, goofy shit, no, you can't do it. It will enrage or confuse your chat. And then they'll get angry and start not donating.
yo, you want to get on
commission, though I think it's too much.
Yeah,
to ask
it's
to
not
DSP reacted
organic.
this on
Exactly.
Mystery Science.
Exactly.
Oh man, that would be a pretty long thing to do.
There's a certain thing called over scheduling. I think he does that.
Yes, because it's a sense of control.
So for my style of content creation, does not flow with that.
Yeah,
I would.
And it's never spontaneous.
I would do really
Here's
well
what you're
with
gonna see. I
somebody
don't want to
who's
watch
a little
that.
bit more
Why do
free
people
flowing, who's willing to get off a Street Fighter in the same stream, and an hour later we play fucking Destiny or Rainbow Six or something.
Yeah,
like
that would be. Well, I don't know. It
That's
wouldn't
just
necessarily be fun with DSP. It would have more potential for fun.
You just got to sign me up. We'll show up.
Yeah.
Well, what's
So
going on,
it's
Minosky
just a
particles?
conflict of styles and some of his decision making with how he treats his fans that I've
Mhm.
observed through videos and some stuff that I saw from the past
He has
that
to know when
I
the
just
whales are
can't
likely
vibe
to be
with.
there
So,
too. He would hate to
you know,
waste his
I
time
gotta
playing
do
games
me.
and not getting paid for it. Yeah, that's the real relationship they have.
Fantastic. Thank you so much again.
That was
for
good. That was a
joining me
great
through
ass
this.
interview. I
It's
love
been
that.
the best interview I could hope for. It's been fantastic. I wish you the best with your stream grind.
That was
I hope
cool.
a lot of the detractors see what I see from you is that you're a real one and you're on the grind. You're working it. You're trying to push yourself.
Yeah, I heard about that, Master Beeves. That's
further.
dumb.
And I think that's very commendable because I can't help you unless if you help yourself first. So
Yeah, you have to tell
big
yourself
up.
that you need help.
You have the tractor community. Majority of us have your back and want to see you succeed. Hopefully, we can hook you up with some of the old
Agent
school
Proper is
Connecticut
great at
guys
this.
and get the ball rolling with some of this tournament idea stuff that I have. So
yeah,
again,
definitely keep me posted, man.
we
Yeah.
will, and maybe we'll get some
Hey,
Destiny.
if you need a logo,
I can't play Destiny.
If
I'm
you need
sorry.
a logo or something for it made, I'm sure. The detractor community, talented motherfuckers. So
Oh,
I'm
he
sure
hasn't
you
seen any of my
can,
stuff.
Get something made, some
man.
graphics or something for it. But if you can't, hit me up because I can do stuff like
I
that.
can make
Fantastic. Thank you for your time.
what can I make
Yes,
for you,
sir.
Brian?
I really appreciate it. Thank you, chat, for being here, putting up with all the disconnect bullshit and all the other nonsense.
I can
Big
make
ups
a
to
chip
Comcast.
Xanath for you.
Big ups to beer because I had a couple. And yeah, go check out Brian. You can hit him up
That's
on
it.
Twitter. He's got an Instagram. He's over there on Twitch. He's got his YouTube out there.
Put the link on screen.
It's all top tier rated. That's what he is. That's where you can find him.
You do
Go hit
your
him up.
OG
Tell
Gundam
him I
style
said
Detractor
big ups.
Gunpla. That's
Much
true. I
love
do need
from
to
the
make the
Detractor
ack
community,
guy.
my guy.
I also wanted to do
we
Wing
wish you all
O
the best
Redemption
in your future.
Absolutely.
and low tier God
Much
Gundam.
love, guys.
It's just God Gundam, but he's
Have a
got
good one, chat. We're getting
later,
out of
bro.
here.
builds.
Thank you for having me, Proper. Seriously, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a joy.
And that was cool. Big ups. That was a good ass video. For those who despise DSPs to an unhealthy degree, the interview did a lot of favors for Brian. Yes, that's true. Evil AJ did a thumbs up. I agree with the thumbs up. Darkstar did flip. Man, a bunch of heroes showing up in here. Good stuff. Man, that was very informative. I feel like I learned a lot from today. Damn. That's cool. I'm glad Brian had kind of this. Brian had the interview that DSP wishes he could get. He wishes he could have these interviews where everyone at the end of it comes away thinking, man, that guy's not so bad. He's actually way cooler than I thought he was. I was all ready to say this guy was a toxic shithead who should be written off forever, but no, he's cool. Sorry, DSP. Those words will never be said about you. It's never going to happen. People will always think you're a loser forever. And you know whose fault that is. It's your fault, bro. You did that to yourself. You made yourself unlikable. I feel like I caught a great summary 5 minutes. Miss anything cool, chat? Our material, it was the things that stuck out to me the most were his discussions about Derich, his discussion about the slave trade joke, and his discussions about time that he had spent with John. Those were pretty informative. The rest of it was not necessarily bad, but kind of like just browsing around an area, just discussing some other stuff. All of it was quality, but those were the three big ass highlights. I'm not trying to say the rest of the interview was complete ass. No, I'm trying to say that. I'm just trying to say those were your marquee moments. But definitely the biggest one was the John stuff. I really loved hearing more John lore. That was beautiful to me. And big ups to Agent Proper for this. Glorious interview. Big ups to Brian. Brian got himself out of the Detractorverse. And it's really cool that he did it in such a unique way to do it. You know, he wasn't fully pignatized and then had to be dragged out of it. No, he just, when presented with the evidence of his shittiness, is, oh, no, I don't want to associate with this dude. Thank you very much. Which is interesting because that's exactly what's being asked of DSP when it comes to Derich. You know, the same situation has basically just happened to Brian. Brian was showed all the horrible things that this guy, Dark Side Derich, or Derek Side Phil, has been doing. And he said, no, this guy's shit. I don't want to associate with him. DSP, maybe you should learn from that example. You know how you've basically been kicked out of a friendship? Maybe you could kick someone out of your friendship? You know, that'd be worth looking into. I don't know. Yep. Consider me humbled by Brian Brian's response. He's a very eloquent dude. He's very calm and very measured with what he has to say. Gets directly to his point and directly to his views. I admire people like that because you guys know me. I prattle on and on, but he's like almost like a samurai. Just needs to one slice, says a sentence. Meanwhile, me, I'm just hacking away with an axe, a self-defense axe. Anyway, enough prattling. As I said, I'm gonna be out of here. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. I'm really happy that I watched this. It was very informative, and I thank you to all of you. You're all a great bunch of heroes. Love every last one of you. I plan on being here tomorrow because I'm doing Going Green. Sniper, the ladies man, is joining me, and we're watching. Don't tell me. I know this. Sly Cooper. We're watching Sly Cooper 2 and 3, and I got some new stuff. It's a little bit powerful. I hope I don't like fall asleep on stream or fall out of my chair or something. It could very well happen. I should get one of those love seats like DSP has. Maybe a DSP brand love seat. What would a DSP brand love seat? It would have it be pre-stained, and the middle cushion would already be broken, and one of the legs is missing, and there's like a cat wedged up there, so it's kind of evened out. Yeah, I need to get one of those. That'd be pretty cool. And then a LTG piss bottle. No, I don't want anything from Cyrex. He's a gross ass individual. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Have a fantastic night. I hope you've all been having a good detox day. And for anyone who's looking forward to DSP's Elden Ring footage, I mean, I'm sorry. It's going to be really obnoxious, but I'm sure it'll be pretty funny. I'm going to have to make sure to get ahead enough in Elden Ring so that I can start watching his restreams, because I want to pass him up, so I'm not feeling bad. Anyway, enough Midwestern. Goodbye. See you all later. Love you all. Take care.
Y'all have a great, safe, blessed day. You know what? I'm going to end this video on a really good, highly vibrational note.
Why should I allow you to talk when you don't support me? You don't give me any money to pay my bills, so therefore you're worthless to me. You don't have anything nice to say, therefore you're worthless to me. All you want to do is say snide comments, snide remarks, therefore you're worthless to me. You guys don't support me financially. You don't support me in a positive way. You don't encourage me to do great things. You don't fucking support me. So why should I support you and give you motherfucking assholes the right to say whatever the fuck you want? You don't get that fucking privilege. I won't let you have that fucking privilege. You want an opinion on this channel? Then donate some money. Put up or shut up. You want the right to talk on this channel? You want privileges? Then start paying my bills, motherfucker. Until you start paying my fucking bills, then you don't have the right, you don't have the privilege or the authority to say whatever the fuck you want on my fucking channel. Because I won't give you the privilege. Because if you're not supporting me monetarily, then you're fucking worthless to me.
Take care and be blessed, all of you. And may you find great light, power, and goodness within yourselves and redeem yourselves and just get out of the toxic minority, period. Be with the majority and be good.
Get a 60-day supply of the platinum.
No? I'm gonna say somebody in Russia just died, and no other just died with that second gunshot. Somebody really toxic. Maybe Putin died by his own sword. Anyway, I've cleared the air. Everything is good. All of you take care and have a blessed, safe day and night.